Okay, I got my iPad setting up on a water cooler, so
Let's see
it
what
got me a
happens.
little bit closer. You can see my face now.
Let's see how it rolls. Well, hello. I'm CJ Robles, and this has been Garrett.
I am in Garrett.
Garrett.
Oh, hey,
My bad.
doing it at the same time.
I a little echo there. I was doing an intro, and I didn't explain it to him before, so I just said my name. So here you guys are listening to Side by Side. It's when we take two movies that we enjoy, or actually we're kind of figuring it out as just we like to watch movies, and we like to find either like an actor, director, writer, or filmmaker that made two movies, and we kind of focus on just their process of it or what they did. And this week we did Jon Favreau. Hope I'm saying that right. I was spelling it a bunch of times to make sure I got it right. We did two of his movies. We did his 1996. Let me write this because I thought he directed the movie. He didn't. The movie's called Swingers. He wrote it. It's from 1996, and Doug Liman, Liman, is the director. So before I mess that up, but in Made, he's the director and the writer. So yeah, so we put two movies. His other 2001 movie called Made. I actually seen both of these movies, and I believe you hadn't seen them.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either one of them, and it was kind of neat. My first introduction to John, I've always said Favreau. I don't know. Like I
Favreau.
said, how did you say it?
I said Favreau, but because it's like because the last part is R. What is it? R-A or R-U-E-A or R-E-A-U, whatever you. So sorry, I'm all
All
nervous.
right. Well, you know what? We'll yeah.
It's like Brett
I think I'm
Favre,
gonna keep mine.
Favre, Brett Favre. It's
Yeah,
kind of like that.
Jon
Favre,
Favreau.
Jon Favreau. There we go.
Favreau.
Favreau. There we go. I like that. Favreau.
Favreau.
That's better. That's why he says it. Favreau.
Favreau.
All right, Jon.
I don't know, man. That's just what I've always heard. Um, God knows I may be wrong too. So both these movies were really good. I watched Made first, and I think I should have watched Swingers first.
Yeah.
Since it was like kind of, I don't know, man. I definitely. So the Vince Vaughn character was, I thought they were going to be really similar, and they were in ways, but Vince Vaughn in Made was way more Vince Vaughn than he was in Swingers.
Hell
Like
yeah.
I put it in like quotation marks because I was like, I feel like this is what set the precedent for the rest of his acting career up until like 2011. It was just like this fast talking, like can't shut the hell up person, and he just gets so much out that you just start laughing at him, and it's just like it kind of hits you in waves, that just kind of is how I feel with Vince Vaughn. But I feel like this kind of set his character. He kind of got typecast there for a while, just the same person over and over again. Wedding Crashers, I mean, prime example is like this is his character for Made, except he's not. We very well could be in the money laundering business and we just don't know it. But yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And then Swingers, I had never seen either. And actually, I just got finished watching that not 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It took like the first, like, I think it was probably about like 40 minutes into it. That's when I was like, okay, like I'm hooked. Like it took a minute to kind of get me hooked in there.
Yeah.
Made, man, like it was right away. But I think that was just because Vince Vaughn was just like popping it out so fast, like he's such a fast talker.
Yeah, you get the difference from Swingers to Made. You feel like he got way better. Like he ramped it up. Like he knew how to like get it down. Like
Yes.
like Swingers is like his beginning. Like and that's the thing is Vince Vaughn's acting. He's one of those I guess I was about to say it without even thinking, but he's kind of like a character actor for me that I just kind of like his movies. I don't ever question his acting. It's just kind like I just don't kind of like I'm not I don't want to. I'm like that's a good movie. He did a part. I'm mainly see Vince Vaughn like more that in his I believe Cell, the one with Jennifer Lopez
Yeah.
and Vincent D'Onofrio. That one he's serious in that one. So
Hmm.
you kind of like you don't get
And
any
Psycho.
Psycho,
He
yeah.
was in the remake of
So
Psycho
so so
too.
so he kind of does, and you're right when he comes in as the character, Ricky. God, okay, so I want to talk about Swingers first
Yeah.
because I think I was in sixth grade when that one came out, and when that one, oh man, that one, the notes. And by the way, I took notes, so everyone listening, I actually took notes down. I'm gonna make it do a better effort of making this more professional. And I saw you taking notes, and then Alec takes notes. I was like, you know what, I need to get on the game because I don't want to be that guy that just kind of because there are some points that I want, some key points I do want to talk about. And but with Swingers, the first thing it hits me the nostalgia, man. Like I just love that feeling. I remember like just seeing the Vegas right here. I have the opening already brings joy to my heart. Reminds me of the old times. Makes me really appreciate of being raised in the '90s. Like that, this movie to me it has a lot of the high points of like I was a child, but as an adult, as I got older, I was like, oh crap, I went through a lot of this character. Like John Favreau's character. Um, well, I'm forgetting his name already on in Swingers. It was Mikey.
Mike.
Mikey,
Mikey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mikey. He like I was him for a good couple years of my life, and when you see that again, like I was like, I saw this movie when I was younger. How come I didn't know this in my head, like when I was going through that? But you got to go through it in order to kind of grow through it, and
Hmm.
um, and going through a breakup like that, like man, it was really like it was moving to me to watch that and be like, man, it's cool that they took this movie and it's kind of about a breakup and these guys are just kind of living their life. One of the notes that I took was I feel like they're I said it's where's it at? Where's my note at? I feel like they're being in it's a oh they took here it is. It's like they're acting in real life, but it's in a movie. Like they're just like they're not their acting is so it's just like the guys being guys. It's just for the time. Like every little story that's inside of there cracks me up. Like even from the opening scene where he's talking to the voice machine, like that's funny. Like even the voice machine is telling him, "Don't call your ex, man. Stop." Like it's weird. I don't know why. Like I did that. I would do stuff like that. Like let's see what she's up to. But it's like I become friends. Like I don't really have a lot of ex girlfriends, but like the ones I did when I was younger, we kind of just still became friends. So I would still be, hey, let's talk. But then like you saw those feelings. But then I had one relationship that I really that really the one that got me like to feel like this movie, man. It kind of like if I would definitely recommend this for a breakup. Like if you have trouble getting over a girl, like definitely watch this one, or getting over a guy, or getting over anybody. Yeah, like watch this one. Like this one is like it's a really good like tale of like just a guy like Vince Vaughn character, he is the same guy in Made, but he's way like sleazier,
Hmm.
way shittier, way crappier. And in Swingers, he's just that he's the hype man. He's the good your money, baby, your money. That line cracks me up. Your money, baby.
Dude.
Like
Yes.
like your money. You don't even know it. Yeah, he doesn't even know it. I know he doesn't even know it. Like, man, that line, that's just like your hype man at his finest trying to like hype you up, trying to be like, you're good. Don't need like I like that. Like I feel like I didn't really have. Well, I was all over the place with friends, but I had like I kind of tried to be who I was and real with one on ones. I found out I was better at one on ones. I'm from a big family, so it's just easy for me to get along with people because you have to you have to. So yeah, you get forced to. So when I watched Swingers, like I kind of wish I had like that group of guys. I had more of the backstabbing friends. So I was always like, oh, I don't want to, or you have like just you have like they trying to always one up themselves or one up you by like putting you down. And I was like, why we work together, we build together, we don't bring each other down. And I was always like, so that was always hard for me to like to stay with a group of guys like that were always like just kind of like that. I didn't mind hanging out with them for once in a while, but always being like that and being and then oh that's the thing I wanted to bring up. I was like I guess technically a club kid. I was all I mean I am a club kid. What am I saying? I started going to like I grew up on the border, so you can go to Mexico at 15. So like it's this movie reminded me of one of my childhood friends and one that we kind of rekindled the fire a little bit because we've been doing fantasy sports, so we've been chatting a lot. And he's got a 2-year-old, and he has a 2-year-old and a one and a newborn, and I have a 2-year-old. So it's kind of cool that we're kind of like growing up. And I remember when we were younger, we talk about going out because you just go to a bar. It's like there's no difference when I was in Mexico to like 21 in the States. Like it's the same feeling. It's just you're just younger. So there's a lot of little scenes in there where they're young, and then they're actually these guys, Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau are really like young. So it's like
Yeah.
it shows you that they're like 24, and he even says it, and there's like, man, like I really like, it makes me really be like, oh, I wish I would have like took my take took my filmmaking and just recorded something like this, or made a movie with a VHS, or made a movie with just anything, because it would have been cool. It would have been a little documentary piece. But you live and you learn, and you don't get stuck in the past. But like this is something in the past I want to go back to look at. I have just the Vegas alone. I love Vegas. I love Vegas. And that scene, like everybody knows about, a lot of people. I mean, when you watch this movie, that scene that sticks out is that the blackjack one, like
Mhm.
you have 11, double down, and then that's basically Vince Vaughn's character's name is Double Down, because that's what he does. But
Yeah.
like all the scenes from the Vegas, the old lady, like all like the little things like that. The old lady ends up getting all the way like to 17, and she gets 21, and she wins, and she gets a complimentary breakfast. They treat her like a queen, and these guys. That's what it really was. Where these guys, like Vince Vaughn, like right in that scene before they, like after they lose the money, and then he starts talking them up. Like he starts building, like, we're good at this. This is how we are. So it's like the idea that you want doesn't turn into the life that you want. Like the thing that you're like, oh, this is what I want, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show everybody that, and it never goes to that. Like it never, like it's like impossible. Like I like just live life, and that's what I love about this movie. It's like a live life moment. The Sue character, I really liked him a lot too. He did a really good job. The actor, Patrick Van Horn, and he did a really, I like him, because he was kind of like, because he's like, so you have Double Down and Mikey, who are like really good friends, and then the Sue character is kind of like that side friend that just kind of hangs out with you guys. So you have like your couples, you have like your Ben Affleck and your Matt Damon, and then you have was the one I just thought of. I'm going blank here, but you have, like, a lot of people talked about them, but Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, it's a good combo, because they also did. I just realized they did Retreat, couples retreat together.
Mhm.
So this is kind
Yeah.
of, so there's a third movie to this. You could try to connect them, like, film wise, like these guys, because I didn't even pay attention on Made. I didn't even pay attention on the cover, on the movie poster itself. It says it's Swingers meets The Sopranos. Like
Hmm.
it's like right there, and it's true. It's exactly what this is. Like they're
I, dude, yes, like with Maid, man, like I was tense for a good minute. Like I was like, are they, like, I thought what Vince Vaughn's character said later on, like, are we about to get whacked? Like
yeah.
I thought that's why he sent him out there in the first place. But yeah, dude, like it was tense. Like it kind of had me in suspense without even trying, and still being funny. Like it was. I feel like it was more. It was almost like an action comedy. Like it was the perfect mix. Like you forgot it was a comedy, and then you'd forget it was an action movie kind of thing.
That's like the best way to describe that movie. Yeah, even right here, comedy, crime, and drama. Like that is the best way, because it's a weird. It's when he says action, he's not talking about like gunslinging. There's the gun shooting. He's talking about like adrenaline in your head and your heart pumping. It does that to you. And I'm gonna tell you this because I keep bringing up the border, because I love the border. That's where I'm from. But there's a lot of like wise talkers down there, like a Ricky. So I had to grow up around a lot of that, and you get into some shit, man, because somebody running their
Yeah.
mouth. And dude, I multiple times, not once, not two, not three, not four, like 5 or 6 times, I had to pause the movie because Ricky was he was just annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah.
That's the first
Yeah.
line I have. Vince Vaughn's character Ricky is so damn annoying, it steals every scene in the show. He's the main. He's the whole story, but the story's not about. And that's what I love about the character. Like I just realized, Ricky's always wants the attention, and the story's not about him. But somehow, every time he's in a damn scene, it's about him. And and
Hmm.
then and then like I mean, it really, like I've worked with people like that, where you're like I love how they bring up the sweeping. The
Hmm.
like he's like, because every time he does a
Yeah.
job, it's like that's why your friend's a sweeper. Like every person, like, oh, your friend, the guy that sweeps, like that's all he's known for. He's been there for years. Like that's why he's still, because he's not trustworthy. He gets on the phone and he calls, and then that gay dude, that designer, hits him with the whip, and he's like, stop hitting me with the whip.
Yeah.
But that's true. It's weird, because they did this movie, and then you see the renovation shows they have, and they're kind of like that. Like I mean, they're not showing that ugliness, but you can see how people could be like,
Hmm.
hey, this isn't right. They get on it. And I mean, I've renovated home, so I know, like, it's like, oh wow, like, yeah, you mess up, you gotta fix it. And it's not like an easy fix, so people get onto you, it costs money. But like over there, like they're messing up a lot. And I wanted to bring up the Famke Jensen.
Hmm.
Her character is strong in this movie. Like, it holds a lot of value, because she's like the mother of the, it's like weird, right? Like he's like in a relationship with this like a stripper, and then she just takes care of him. I mean, he just takes care of her, and then the daughter part, like that whole little triangle thing, like the
Mm-hmm.
daughter and the friend, they like each other, they love each other, care each other, but the mom's out there. And I one thing I wanted to say is the way they did her makeup, the way they applied her makeup, because this is in 2001, so she's just finished hot off of X-Men, so she's like
Yeah.
beautiful, you know. And then she did,
Mm-hmm.
this is before she did Goldeneye, I believe. So no, this is after she did Goldeneye's in the
Yeah.
90s, sorry. So you get to see her, like, she looks the same from Goldeneye to X-Men, so this is like right behind it, because even in X2 she looks gorgeous. So
Mm-hmm.
you see the way they made her look like a has-been, like a loser,
Yeah.
she looks haggard, she looks bad, and you're like, man, it's crazy because they really did that for her. Because you really feel like, man, this lady sucks. This is a horrible
Mm-hmm.
mom. And at the end with the John, and I like the fact that some of the cameo characters are like Jonathan Silverman was in it, from Weekend at Bernie's. You know, that
Who?
he's the guy that he gets caught doing the blow at the end with he's the guy that he punches at the bachelor party. He's a bachelor.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He gets punched by Jon Favreau in the beginning, and then at the end he is caught with Famke Janssen, and
Was that who that was? For some reason that just didn't click. I was like, he looks really familiar.
yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, so he's in it, and that's
Okay.
cool that he's like kind of that like deadbeat kind of, yeah, Jonathan Silverman. He's kind of like that guy that he's just like, I mean, that's the thing that's kind of crappy because he's like, she's rich, he's rich because he's throwing that party, that bachelor party, and they're all spending all that money, and she just goes where the money's at, where the drugs at. That's what she wants. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been in crappy relationships. I think that's why you get in crappy ones so you get in better ones, so you know what to look for. And that one really, like, that one hit home a lot. The scene that broke me, now that I'm a father, like, I've noticed that when I watch movies that are family related, it really broke me. And at the end, with when he's telling her, like, that little girl, just take her, and then she gives him the hug, like, oh, I'm about to cry. I just saw it, but I finished watching it an hour ago because I watched the movie to get the refresh, and then I watched it a little bit as we talk before we talk, so I have it a little bit in my head. And right now I saw that part and it made me cry again. I was like, damn, that's strong. I was like, damn you, you directed, you understand. Like, I see the jump from what you wrote Swingers to what you wrote Made. It's the same ballpark. It's just a different element. It's like, you order, you order your steak, and then you order the steak with lobster, or you order your steak, now you're adding lobster. It's like, it's the same. It's your ribeye, but now you added more to it. It's better. And Made, like, man, it's really deep. It's really, I mean, I got a lot of little. Oh, I'm already gonna go with the Dustin Diamond cameo.
Yeah, right.
God, dude. Like, you let Screech in, like, dude, that, and then Dustin Diamond, like, that was right before he, like, just fell off, man. Like, right before he went crazy. So I was like, that's like a good Dustin Diamond you get to see. The Peter
Mm-hmm.
Falk, like, that character, like,
Oh,
oh God, like,
man.
he's like Columbo, like, who don't give a shit at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I like that his name is also Max. I've noticed that since I've been watching movies, my my son's name comes up a lot in movies. I was like, oh, it's a picked name. I like that. And even, like, Goofy movie Max, son.
Yeah,
So,
true. Yeah.
but like that character, the Peter Falk Max character, like, oh, man, I like I said, I watch them now with, like, a fresh pair of eyes because I'm an adult and I'm more mature. I caught so much things that I didn't catch the first time, or, like, watching when I was younger, now that I get, like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It all adds up. And I caught on to the carpet van.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why did they send Vince Vaughn? Like, I understand. The movie was more about it's for Bobby, and, like, why do you send Ricky? Like, how dumb he is. Well, they gotta let Ricky has to pay what he does for what he did, the van. And then you even find out towards the end when he's freaking out. He's like, yeah, they're gonna find out I sold the van. Like, he sold the van. Like, he's a loser, man. He's a deadbeat, and he gets worse and worse. And then the tipping thing, that's how we do. Like, that's annoying, man. Like, even waiting, I'm starting to remember people have waited on that, talk to me like that, and they're like, come on, man, don't be like, they're talking down to you, or not talking down, just talking at you like that, and I don't like it. So I give people, I'd wait, I give them, like, a serious face, like, okay, whatever, and they'd be like, oh, come on, don't be a stick of mud. I'm like, no, the way you're talking to me, I don't appreciate that. And they're like, nah, come on, your money, here's money. It's like, but it's even funny when they're at the I mean, because he's beat up, they're both beat up during this whole movie when they're living this life, and then, like, it's because they beat each other up. They only get in one other fight with, like, with those Westerners or the Westies, and That's it. But outside of that, they just beat each other up. And then when they're at the like aquarium and like even they fight there, like how much money do you have? Oh, I got $80. How do you got $80? Like he's that crappy. I was paid. I paid half the drinks. It's like that kind of like that kind of low life friend. I have a lot of
Hmm.
those. I mean I'm not even ashamed. I'm related to people like that. I don't care. Like I was raised around people like that. So you see that, and then like you get to watch a movie and it brings you back. I'm like, oh, I remember this time, and I hate it. I hate that. And I mean, he really captures it. Like the way he gets this movie to really like sell all the characters. And then I'm sorry, I wrote Puff Daddy, but it's on this one he goes by Sean Combs. So he just dropped the Puff at that point.
Yeah,
Uh,
I said Diddy on there. So
yeah, so he plays Reese, and that guy is like his character. Like get him to the Greek where he's kind of like that. Like he's
yep.
this character again, but he's worse in this one. I like his assertiveness in the scenes. Every time he comes out, like he's not even he never smiles. It's all business. It feels like this is the Puff Daddy that he wants that we want him to see him like how he is like, but he's not like he's just a character. But maybe he gets to show it, or maybe this is how he really is when he does a scene. I mean, he is in real life, but man, he really like the way he talks, man. He's like a businessman. Like that's what I think. Like why are you talking to me? Like I don't did I ask you, like listen. Oh, I'm gonna probably start something. I don't. I'll save it to the end, but no, but like that character, even like so, even like turns on his own guy. Um, what's his name? Horace. He turns
Hmm.
played by what's his name? Faison Love.
Yeah, Phase on Love.
Yeah, he that I mean he's a great actor too. That's a big perm. He from Friday. He does a good job at just being like the side and the little thing with the I like the little thing he added to the character with the nose. Like that's
Hmm.
little that I like that he added that in, like he kind of has stress, but he's just kind of in the middle. And then Ricky or right away, he's hey man, Horace, don't throw me in the middle, like like trying to throw people down. Like it's like you really get to hate the Vince Vaughn character. Like
Yeah.
if you despise him in Swingers, the way he is, you're like, he's a young guy, whatever. He's just a kid. He don't know anything. And then when you get him in Made, you're like, oh, you hate him. Like you hate him. Like you. And I really hate him because of the, like I said, like it reminds me of a lot of like old past friendships I had and just people I used to hang
Hmm.
out with or just going out, go to a bar and like, I had a guy do me one like this one time where we were in I it was a guy from my hometown and he came out to Austin to party and we were at a bar and he goes hey let me buy a round of drinks, let me get you a beer. And I don't even drink at the well I drink beer now but I didn't drink beer then. I was like I don't drink beer. And he goes no, let me get you a beer, come on, I'm getting around. I'm like nah dude, I'm cool. And he goes I don't like people getting me anything. And he goes come on, don't be like that, we're in Austin, this isn't the hometown. I was like all right fine, you got me with that line, I'll do that. So give me what are you gonna get? He goes a Bud Light. All right, give me a Bud Light. And he goes, all right, I get 4 Bud Lights. He's like, all right, that's $4. He gives a $5 bill and he says the tip's yours. And enjoy it. Like like when Double Down does the 50 cent tip like to that girl,
Hmm.
like it's yours. And you
Yep.
like that's why you don't have to say anything. That's just sleazy. And anyways, the oh god,
Yep.
the sleaziness of that. I totally lost my train. Oh no, my friend goes, hey, here's the Bud Lights, and he goes, and like I mean, we cheers, and I'm barely even drinking the beer, and he goes, all right, give me a drink. I was like, what? He goes, I go, already with the BS, man. Already. I go, all right, what do you want? He goes, hey, give me a drink. I go, what, already? We just got these, let's enjoy these. Like, no, I want you to give me a drink. All right, well, what do you want? He goes, all right. And he didn't even tell me. He told the bartender, get 2 more drinks. He goes, what do you need? He goes, I'm going to get a Crown and 7. I was like, what? And he goes, order 2. I go, I didn't, nah. I was gonna get you a beer, dude. I was like, why? So I thought I'll get you a shot, but if you order, he's like, nah, I got it. You got it, right? And then I was like, dude, you did me dirty, man. So it was like $16, and I paid. I mean, I paid. I was like, all right, and I go, well, I'll never buy that guy a drink again, or never drink with him, and that's that little shady stuff. But
Hmm.
he looked at me the whole time. I was like, whatever, I'm done. I stopped talking to him. He's like, hey, why don't you want to talk to me, man? Come on, talk to me. Like, we gotta go pick up girls. Like, not with you. I ain't talking to you. And then he goes, I go, dude, you just did me dirty. You not see what you did? He goes, oh, that's nothing, man. You could afford it. I can't afford it. I gotta buy the beers. I'm like, what? Don't make that assumptions. Don't make that assumption. Like, but it's like I had already. At this point. I think I was like 22, so I already been drinking for a little bit at the bar. So I was already like, I mean, from like 15, 16. So I was already knew I already knew that was coming. But they hit me with that line, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. But at that age, but it's like when you hang out with people like that, and then you see this character, you really hate him. It's the
Yep.
despise. It's everything here that just I don't know. Like I might have overthought his character a lot, but even at the end, and I noticed this at the very end when they're at the like Chuck E. Cheese's, like
Hmm.
The Chuck E. Cheese location, and they're not beat up because I wrote, I wrote Bobby's life is messed up because he lets the people around him mess it up. That's exactly like he's a good
Mm.
guy, but he lets the like everybody around him, even Max, Reese. He lets. I mean, he's quiet the whole time. Even if you look at the cover of the movie, it's he's like the face is like Vince Vaughn's like and he's just pissed off because he's just trying to do the right thing and it keeps going against him. And I always feel like that can be like an internal thing for everybody. Like you feel like some people feel like they get screwed over or get cheated out of something and they dwell. And I used to do that. I used to dwell and hold on to like pain, and once I learned to let it go, because you hold on pain, it's like holding on to a weight. Like it's like you're walking with this weight, and you're just like, I'm gonna hold on to this because it hurts me. And then the Ron Livingston character, when he tells him, well, by the way, he goes 2 days without seeing his friends, and he has like a
Mm.
beard. That's kind of funny, but I stubble, like thick stubble. But even the Ron Livingston character says, you learn, you like, he goes, you learn to get over it, you know, and then you end up, and he goes in the messed up way, you end up missing it. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, because then you end up you were holding on to that, and then it's gone, and now there's like a placeholder there, and there's nothing that fills it. So you're kind of like, well, it's weird. You're over it, you're gone, you moved on, but you still like that scar. And it's not. There's songs about, you know, the first cut is the deepest and all that. They're about people hurting you and scarring you, but it's true. It's a you let. I mean, I don't know. My version is true. If I'm hurt, if I get hurt, like if I got hurt back then like that, and you hold on to those. I mean, you had some good memories. I basically got ghosted, and I think that was the worst part.
No.
I would have loved the breakup. You know, I would have liked that. Like, but when you when you just the person just cuts you off, and so what happened was, yeah. So I was with this girl right out of high school. I didn't really have a relationship in high school, but outside of high school, I got my first relationship, which was fun and everything. And then right at the year, just ghosted me, and it like I did like a spiral. But it wasn't that it wasn't just that. I had a lot of problems, but that part like really like that helped. That really reminded me like what happened. But years passed, and my cousin came in town, and he was like, "Hey, let's go to a bar. I'm here for business, and I'm done with business. Let's go party." I was like, "Sure." So it was like 5 o'clock or something, and we were walking down Sixth Street, and he goes, "Let's go to Logan's," and I was like, "Sure." They got big beers there, and I get there, and we sit down, and we start talking, and all of a sudden, like it's like my ex that ghosted me is like right in front of me, like waiting tables on me, like waiting on me. So you're like, oh damn. And then you know I'm like, oh, that nothing happened. Like I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. And then like as you walk out, she actually even like had like switched like talked to me like 3 or 4 times, and then I guess just felt awkward and just asked another person to close us out kind of thing. And when I walked out, I was
Mhm.
like, man, you really don't like me that much. Like I don't know. I thought we were cool. You go like I thought I literally had like a beautiful conversation with you before you left me, and then now you left me, and I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do. And then, but when I went and saw that, I was like, nah, I gotta go. Like, it's time for me to move on. Like, yeah, you don't even like, you didn't even like. It was like you made me feel like I was like a horrible guest, and I didn't even do anything. You know, like you waited on me. I didn't. It was random. But I think the fact that I got to see that's what helped me. I was like, nah, I'm over. If you're over it like that much, then I'm over it. But I guess the disconnection. So when I'm looking at this Mikey character, and like you know the like I've even done the like you getting too drunk and you call someone too many times thing. You know, like
Mhm.
it's a thing, you know, we all kind of do it. We've removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. What? That's weird. I haven't
What's
paid
that
for
mean?
I don't know. I haven't paid for Zoom or anything, and they always say you have 40 minutes to use the meter or something
Well,
like that. But
we
we've
could
all
just like cut it off and cut it back on, right?
I guess so, but what I'm trying to say is you and I have gone and I've gone way on with it with everybody else. I've had
Yeah.
I don't understand, but okay, we'll see. Um,
Mm.
well, but like that relationship, like, and then you see the way Mikey handles it, and it does kind of have to like you kind of need that perspective from another friend, you know, that's gone through it, and that's what helps you. That'll help you kind of realize like, oh crap, me just move on. It's but by that point it's already too late. The time has passed. You're like, okay, let's go. Um, have you been like you got that kind of feel from that, or is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like it was funny because most of Swingers you have Jon Favreau, his character is just like hung up on this girl, and Mikey, he just comes in and is like, it's like he's already over it. He already knows. I
Yeah.
think whenever Ricky tells him that Max has been with all the girls and everything, and then Max goes ahead and says, I've been paying her rent for 8 months.
Yeah.
Like, if you're paying somebody's rent, Like, especially if you're like that. I mean, I don't know. I
Oh,
think he was right, and I think Mikey knew that like as soon, and that's why he gave the money back. Like, I think he
you're
was
talking
just
about
so pissed.
Bobby, right?
Oh,
Bobby's a maid, and Mikey's from Swingers.
oh yes, Bobby. Dang it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because it's real easy. Ricky Bobby is the names in the,
Yeah,
in the movie.
yeah. Okay. Bobby. Yeah, Bobby like Resigliano or something like that. I love that
Oh,
at the beginning too. Whenever he's just like, how many people, how many Bobby Resiglianos are on this site?
God, that's funny, right? Like he says his
Yep.
friend's name, but he even says his friend's name. Like, he's right
Hmm.
there in front of you, and you're like, "Who are you, Bobby Sigurado?"
But yeah, I think as soon as Max told him that, like Mikey knew, and he was like, or Bobby, dang it. See, I did it again, man. I think it's just because I watched it. Bobby knew that like he wasn't the only one. And you know, yeah, I don't know. It was a solid movie, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it a whole lot. Like it was cool going back and seeing some of Jon Favreau's like his first directorial. I don't think that was his first, but like it had to been close to it. Because I mean, Elf was 2003, and that movie is fantastic, and that's one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. And then
Yeah,
and
I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, and then after 2008, I mean, he's known as Iron Man director. Like
The
after
MCU.
after you have, yeah, I mean, pretty much like the Godfather of the MCU, Happy Hogan, all this other stuff. So, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, no, I'm just gonna say that you're pretty right because Made wasn't his first director,
I
but it's
don't know.
it's his. No, I have it here in IMDb,
Oh,
but
okay,
it's his first. I believe it's probably his first feature length because he just has a movie called Smog, which is a TV movie, and Bad Cop as a TV movie. So it was like his
okay,
but that's directing. He's done more movies than that, but that's directing. So
yeah.
that's his first movie he directed, and then you're right,
He
he
was
did,
in Rudy,
and then he
right?
did Elf. Yeah, no, it's like those guys. I think there's a connection there, like Vince
Yeah,
Vaughn and
Vince Vaughn.
or like all those characters from the movies. Because even like Phase on Love comes out in Couples Retreat. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He sure
even like
does, doesn't he?
so all three of them are in the same movie, and then they what was I gonna say? But yeah, that part where Max says he pays her rent, like. Do you think that was enough, or I think it was he catching her doing the drugs around the kid? I think that's
I
what.
think I think it's just all of it. Like he comes home and he just kind of realizes like, oh, this is just like a terrible relationship. And Rick, it was like, I mean, Ricky wasn't sugarcoating it the entire time. I mean, he was like, I don't think he liked that whole setup anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
God,
I think he felt bad for him. Hell, if he didn't even help her, he might have been with her too. You
no,
know,
oh yeah, and then and
and
it,
the
it
way
really
he is.
and then it really God, they even tipping he tries to tip the the mascot at the end
So,
of the
oh yeah,
and
yeah, Chuck E.
that's how we
Cheese.
do. That's how we do. Like it's kind of that was funny for me because with my son, it's like I went from the bar scene. Now I throw parties at the house, but it's like for little kids. So I was like, you know what? I'll give up that life because that life ain't worth much. You learn some weird stuff, but
Hmm.
I mean it's hard life. But I think once you go into like this like family thing with the child, it's like I'm like, all right, well I know what all the bad things look like, so we can have fun now. So let's go. I can't spend $200 at the bar, so I'm gonna spend $200 at the barbecue, and we're gonna get a big old blimp, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna pull all the strings because it's just I already have memories like that nowadays.
Hmm.
And it does. I think I like that's the thing about swingers. Like it shows you like a glimpse in their life, and that when I lived in LA for a year. It's exactly like that. Like I knew I
Really.
couldn't. I knew I wasn't gonna last long. I can't fake. I can't be fake. I can't like if I don't like you, I don't want to be around you, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm okay. And I'm like, I don't, nah, man. Like if Ricky's around me, but like, and that's the thing. You find out that even the coach, hey coach, doesn't even say anything. He just knows like he's like Bobby, why you hang out with this guy? But it's because he took. You find out in that scene that he took the fall for him. That he took. They got caught and Ricky did the time. So Bobby feels like he's in debt to him. I feel like that's a thing, man. That's a childhood thing because that's you know I have friends like that, we do. I've
Mhm.
done them a solid. So I mean, if I ever need to be calling a favor, they're there, but I don't do that. But I mean, it's whatever. Like I get it, but you really get that sense that's why it's like but maybe Bobby cares a little too much. He doesn't realize he cares, or maybe he's really trying. And but even like that part, they fight there too. Like you boys cut it out. And then like they talk about
Mhm.
like Bobby's like little highlights from coaching, and then, I mean from when he was a player. Then Ricky they just totally diss him because that's just the way he is. And I mean he does. I mean it's crazy what the part where Ricky is flipping out where they, like you said, they're gonna get whacked.
Mm-hmm.
That part right there really kind of started. And that's the drama heavy part right there, where he starts
Yep.
freaking out, and like he didn't even, and then it throws you off because they don't even pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pick him up. So when they don't pick him up, you're like, oh crap. But then it's like he's crazy. Like he's a crazy guy. And when there's a bunch of crazy guys, when there's normal people, he sticks out like the crazy guy. Oh, he's a crazy guy. But you need the crazy guy when all the crazy guys show up, and that's what it shows you. Because the Welshman guy gets knocked out, gets hit with the bottle, and then all of a sudden Ricky shows up with that stupid gun. I told you I get a gun
Yeah.
because he had $80. So he bought a gun, he colored it, and it's got the little pistol, and then they fight. It's like it's even Jimmy. I feel like I think Jimmy's the main the what's his name? Oh, I'm sorry, I want to say his name. The big puss character, the
Yeah.
um uh
Yeah, it's Jimmy.
Jimmy, that guy, that even that character, he really, I think he's the main guy. I think he's Vince Pastori. I don't
That
know.
would make sense.
Pastore. But I think he'd probably like he was the bad guy. Like he was the main guy because he even shows up with the gun at the end, and I'm pretty sure he like plugged those guys that try to rob him. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he's basically using Bobby and Ricky as bait.
Here's what I want to know. Oh, I mean, that would be okay. Who drove them home if he was there killing everybody?
No, they took the car, I guess, because they all jumped
They
in it.
they took it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they took it, but I mean they all kind of go their ways. But it kind of because all they needed was the mark, and because those guys were the hired help. That's what he says. I hired you guys to protect me. The
Yeah.
Welshman, they turn on him. But man, that's scary, man.
Yeah. And honestly, like for that kind of movie, I thought it was a pretty like solid, not even twist, but just like, okay, cool. Like Vince Vaughn isn't whack. Like you're thinking that the whole time. And he gives this big old speech and he's like, okay, that's half-ass convincing. And then you're like, oh, we're not gonna pick
Yeah,
him up. And then he just kind of shows up in the closet and stuff like that. I was like, okay, like this it's a you don't really see it coming. You're kind of blinded by all that other stuff. And I
yeah,
think that's what I thought that was pretty cool. That normally I can like catch on to stuff like that. It's like, okay, this is gonna happen,
yeah,
And honestly, I thought they were gonna get killed the way Ricky was talking to everybody, like
yeah. And that man, he really, God, it's not on his tab. You gotta understand when you're, I mean, I'm sorry. What I understand about this is that I've been in that situation where somebody's racking up the tab on someone else's bill, and like it's
mm-hmm,
there, and that's the cool part about the whole thing. It really got the made. It means like he's acting like they made it. They haven't done anything. Oh, and
doing right.
this was gonna prove my point, Ricky, because this is 2001, and I think Ricky is just a millennial. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he's very millennial in this character. Like I don't know if that was because like I feel like millennial wasn't a big thing because we were still young back then. So I don't think it was like a big thing till we get older, like to 2010s. They really started pointing out who millennials were. But so this is in 2001. But I feel like I'm like, dude, the guy he's very cocky. He thinks he's the like hot shit. He's got this like ego to him. Hasn't done anything. Like all they have to do is something little, and then right away he starts. I need to relax. What do you think? Why do you think Max puts up in here? Why do you think he does that for us? He's like, oh, what's this 1,500 per diem? That's your per diem. Oh yeah, so who do I give that to? Like it's like, and then he's like, he doesn't know anything. Like, and that's I feel like, I mean, I'm a millennial, so I feel like the self-imposed thing is really there. He really puts that in there. Like, oh yeah, I'm good. I like, he uses like, what does he tell Reese? Like, he says, what's the jump or something like that? Like he says some word like, he's like, what is he talking about? Like, shut your mouth. I'm not talking to him. Like he already knows like this kind of guy. Like the way I do not talk to this guy. And yeah, I feel like that's just like the millennial in a lot of us that we,
Yeah.
I know more than you, or I know what I'm doing. I have no experience in it.
Or then whenever he asked, did he like what? Do you want us to be strapped? He's like,
Yeah,
strapped. He was like, yeah, it's whenever you have guns. Just like,
explain the gun.
like, oh man,
But
it's
this is
almost like, are you stupid like that for real? Like at the end, dude, like whenever he was just sitting there and talking to Max, I thought it was gonna be like some kind of like he was behind the whole thing. It almost had that kind of feel to it. And then Max was just like, get the hell out of here. Like,
oh no, I was no, I did I could see how that comes off, but man,
yeah,
I started laughing because I forgot he acts like he belongs. Because
yeah.
even they tell him that 2 times, like just shut up and act like you belong. belong, like you're from, and then at the very at the worst time, he acts like, oh God, that's funny. He acts like he belongs. Like, that's why that cracks me up.
And like he tells him, it's like, oh, his name's the Red Dragon. Like gives him all this
Oh my
information, and then just spills all of it. Like this is everything I know about you. Just like, oh my God, dude. Like it's just like it's one of those movies where you just continually see somebody screwing up and like they have no repercussions, and you're just like, what? Like he just runs his mouth the entire damn time and almost little to no repercussions whatsoever.
yeah.
If people just let him get away with it,
Yeah, he's
you
one of
know?
those guys, and there's people like that. I know a lot of people
Yeah,
like that, man,
yeah.
and it's
But I
crazy.
mean, Vince Vaughn's a tall dude. Like
Yeah,
I'll
he's
give him
like
that.
six
And
five.
Jon Favreau's like, pretty built too. I mean, he's no slouch for sure.
You're right.
Um,
They're. I mean, you're right because Vince Vaughn is, I think, about 6'5". I mean, Jon Favreau is at least 6', 6'1", and he towers over him. But he's got that girth, so they looks the role like they're boxers, and that's what I liked
mhm.
about the bars fight because it's like, oh wait, these guys are boxers. They beat those guys up because they're like, they're just a bunch of like he calls it guineas. He gets mad like, and that's the thing about the millennial. I really started catching on. He won't say anything. He kind of he'll bark back, but he won't let it go. Because in the next scene, he's still like, "What do you think you call me? He thinks he could just talk to me like that? You think like it's just like
Mhm.
it's like, dude, we should have told him, like you could." It's weird, like the way that makes that character. I want to know where his motivation came from, because he
Yeah.
really. I mean, it could have been Double Down from Swingers, but it
I
could.
think it was a mix between that and I don't know if Old School came out at this, like if it was exactly the same. I know it was 2001, so he had to
What's
been working on Old School at the same time.
Oh wow, dude,
So and his character in Old School is essentially this, but without as much of the cockiness.
Beanie,
It's
yeah.
yeah, and he's kind of like toned down, but like still on that high end. Like very almost like very tense, but not as annoying. Like he was.
Actually,
I think
actually,
Jon Favreau was just like annoy the shit out of me,
I,
and we'll be good.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But correction, real quick. I agreed with you. I thought Old School was 2001. It's 2003.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I was gonna say,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, never mind.
yeah. So I was like, oh wait, it's 2003. But I mean, I think it's just, I think it is a continuation of this character that really, like, God, I think in Swingers, I think Double Down, or his name's Trent, was his character's. I think Trent is annoying, but in a good, friendly way. Like he's like your friend. He's trying to. He wants to go out. He wants you to go out. But he's just that guy that he's like, dude, don't put gas on the fire. It's cool. We need gas on the fire. We need to get the fire going. We need to get the fire partying up. We got to get people like. It's like, dude, just relax. We just want to chill. And it's like, no, let's get the fire going. And that's the kind of character I feel he is. He's innocent in a way, but yet like he's not, because he gets those numbers and tears them up. It's kind of like, I don't get that whole point either. Like just saying like it's kind of like I can hunt, but I don't need to. It's like a sport hunting kind of thing. But
Yeah.
even at that, he's just getting a number. But I guess mainly in the '90s that was a big deal. Like how you got it. I mean,
Yep.
before Tinder and all that, and or messaging people, like it was a year. I mean, that's why I used to talk to girls. You just go say hi. But
Well, and even in May, dude, like they get a page and they're like running to a payphone. Like
oh
if
yeah,
it's some, a kid would watch that today and be like, "What the hell is going
yeah,
on?
that's
Like, what is
true.
this?" You
Oh, two
know?
two things I got from that I don't know what kind of person it makes me sound like, but I liked about Swingers and Maid was they smoke cigarettes inside. It's
Hmm.
like, and you don't see that. And I'm not saying I smoke cigarettes or anything like that or enjoy it. I'm just saying that it's kind of like, it's like that's like an old thing. Like it's a freeze frame. Like, you see cigarettes in an airplane. Like I've never was around for that, but because I think it was like in
Uh-uh.
the late '70s they got rid of that. But like
Oh,
you see
excuse me.
like yeah, that's cool. You see this is the cigarettes, like kind of that, and that kind of brings me to a time where like, oh, this is an older movie. Like, and it's also shot in film, so it's like, man, it's beautiful. It's got that graininess. The budget for Made was, and I saw this on TV when on one of the like pay-per-view, I believe. I didn't
Hmm.
watch it at the movies because I don't remember this movie being at the movies at all. I don't think they promoted it, but it only made it was a $5 million budget, which is not bad, but it only made 5.48 million, so it only
Oh,
only made 480,000 on its on its release. But I don't think they ever they didn't really talk about it, I don't remember seeing any like movie posters on it, or I think this is definitely a independent movie. It's definitely
maybe maybe what it was, man, is it was like one of Jon Favreau's first adventures, and maybe he just didn't market it correctly. You
Yeah.
know, maybe this is one that he like, okay, I need to market a movie. Like maybe he didn't account for that in the budget, possibly. You know.
Sure. Check this out. Swingers was this I love. I love. Like when my mom's a business tycoon, or not tycoon, was business person, and when you get to the numbers things, when you see something that was budget at 200,000 and it made 4.6 million at the box
Ooh,
office, that's like
two
a
hundred
grand.
thousand.
Yeah, it was 200,000 for
See, and
Swingers.
that's probably what Jon Favreau was like. Oh yeah, yeah, I can do that for 200,000. I can
Yeah,
make that movie.
that's awesome. And it says it right here. It says Mike Peters is a struggling comedian who left New York to find success in Los Angeles and is still upset over his girlfriend of 6 years, Michelle, breaking up with him 6 months prior. So like that's just the part right there I forgot about was he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He tells no jokes in the whole movie, but he's a
Nope.
comedian and he has no confidence. It's like to be a comedian you gotta have a lot of like confidence.
Yeah.
What we're gonna say?
Well, I think it was just like it was almost like he was a failed comedian. Like he had come out there
Yeah.
and he'd been out there for 6 months and he's just you know, barely making. He's like, well, I MC it one night a week at this thing. Like I heard him mention that a couple times. And
Yeah.
then yeah, dude. Like one thing that I put down about uh Swingers as well was a boy named Sue, man. That's the
Yeah.
first thing. And like he almost kind of looks like a Johnny Cash character, like
He
he'd be
does.
from the 50s,
Yeah,
kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting. Like whenever he gets out, like the first time you see him, like he looks like a normal person, and then
yeah.
you just kind of you're like, oh, Sue, and then he just like, but that's what I have noted down is Johnny Cash is a boy named Sue. Like that would be the person who would pull a gun on somebody because they've been bullied their whole life. It's like, oh, I grew up in
Yeah.
LA. It's like
Not
Anaheim. Like
Anaheim, yeah. But it's true. And then like when I what I'm saying about the for me about how the time frame, I feel like it's just like these guys are doing that anyways because that the way Sue is in the movie, like we really don't know him. We know a lot about Trent, you know a lot about Bobby, you even know a lot about Ron Livingston's character, Rob. You know about a lot about them, but you don't really get it. But he's like because he's that guy you kind of always hang out with. And then like for him to pull out the gun, they didn't know he was capable of that. Like and that's a mood killer. Like I hate when I like that's one thing. Like this movie's supposed to be about having a good time. Like they do have some swinging in it. Like I thought that's what the movie was going to be about. Like it was like the Roaring Twenties, and it's nothing like that. Like when I saw that when I and the thing that's cool is my buddy that met, told me about it. He has an older brother, so we always kind of vicariously kind of saw what he was doing and we kind of like mimicked it. So when that movie came out, he's like, yeah, we're it's kind of like us, and I think that's what really like hit home for me like recently. And then like kind of like this is like that the way that everything is in that time frame. But the damn scene where Bobby finally cleans himself up and then goes to Sue's house, and those guys he pulled the gun out is there, they're all partying and drinking. I've been around that. I've been like, didn't you guys just beat the shit out of each other like 2 days ago? It's like, yeah. And then after that, we ended up saying like, well, let's go drink more. And we've been drinking for 2 days. Where you been? I was like, oh damn. I have a cousin that's he's a really good fighter. Really, he's long, so he's like 6'3", so he's real tall, so you can't really hit him. But he's we get in fights a lot, and he would fight and we would drink after that. But I think that's just kind of like that like guys being guys, that bros hitting each other, fighting. Like I'm not like that. I never was like that. I don't like being touched. So like I was when guys start doing that, I take it all serious. Like you were just playing. Oh, I'm not. Don't do it to me. And I was like I'm like a badger. Get away. I was like don't corner me. It's like I take it like that, and I think it's because I was raised a little bit rough. So I think the fact that when that to me turns into like a serious thing, with those guys are just playing, but they're like but like in Maid, they're fighting again. Like these guys, like they fight each other like a lot, and even in the
the
beginning, like
beginning where he's like, and he does that right back to him, like.
so stupid, man. Like that, like and I'm even looking at my notes because I was like, man, I really like that the Ricky character. So I wrote like little side things like I wrote I wrote I wrote Ricky just breaks wait yeah breaks oh he's no Ricky's just here for the joyride. That's all he's just here to enjoy the ride. And then right under that I wrote a little mark, Ricky's such a scumbag. Like and then we hear like he's so damn annoying. I hate him. Like I just like because it's like it really he does I gotta give it to Vince Vaughn, man. He's a good actor in this movie.
Yeah.
He's really really good.
I
Um
I guess I wrote down, let's see here, a couple of scenes that I really liked. Riding on the back of the bikes whenever they were men him down with Harlem. Like I thought that was hilarious.
And then he gets out. Well, they're fighting right before they get picked up, and like be
Yep,
professional. And then they get
exactly, man. Just
and
like can't stop fighting the
yeah,
entire time.
it's because Mike just Bobby's character gets so pissed off that he's like, "Come on, man!" It's like you can take
Hmm.
the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But this one don't shut the hell up. But you're right, because
Hmm.
even when he gets off the bike, he right away, Ricky's like, I gotta get in the bike with the guy with no shirt on. I'm riding down the middle of the street, like he's like pissed off, like because he's a big guy too. So it's like two big guys on a little motorcycle. Looks funny.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then, oh, what were you gonna say?
no, go.
I was gonna say the bathroom coke scene too
Oh
was
God,
probably whenever they're all four in that stall, and then he
they're big
just like
guys, dude.
yes, and then he drops them, and Vince Vaughn's like, oh my god, like he just like that was probably what I laughed out loud at that scene, and then the next one whenever he blows coke all over him, like he's like, get it together, man, like he just
No, but it's funny
and
because
why would and another thing too, like I was watching that scene, I was like, why the hell would you send these two guys that totally messed up the transaction before and to go and like party with them? Like it just blew my mind. Maybe I missed the spot
dude,
where
what's up?
when like they go and meet the Welsh guy again, the Red Dragon. Like I was thinking to myself, like, why would you send these guys back out? Like you didn't want them to talk the entire time, and then you're gonna send them out to like go party with. I just didn't. I thought that was kind of
Even
odd.
Sean Combs, Reese character says, "Man, I could have hired two guys and two guineas from
Yep.
here. Why'd you send me? Like he's like, like these two idiots. Who sold you? The first thing he said, man, who swolled y'all up? Well, we did it to each other. Like, but like what you're saying about the Ricky character and then the Bobby character, I think it's just the fact that at the end, they did that because it was one to kind of like because they could have killed Ricky whenever, but they didn't do it because of Bobby. But kind of like one, it's like showing Bobby you've made it, you've put your time into, and you're moving up the ladder. And Ricky, your debt is now paid because of this, and you're gone. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
remove him. I think that's kind of where I got, and I think that, but it is kind of like now you think about it, he's still stuck with his boy by Bobby just saying, "I'm turning the money down," and then he goes, and then the next scene they're in the Trans Am picking up the little girl, and or he's going home and it doesn't turn out for him, and they pick up the little girl. Well, it's like wow, man, like he's still stuck with his boy, but then like at the end they're like an old married couple, like the
I
way he's
know.
like,
That's what I was thinking too.
they're like and then they're super clean, like they don't. That's like the cleanest they're in the whole movie because they're not in that lifestyle anymore. And I honestly think like when I was waiting tables downtown and bartending all that stuff, like I had little bumps and bruises all the time because you're just being dumb, man. And then you start
Yeah.
getting older, you're like, oh, I'm not healing, or maybe it's like, oh, I just don't need to do this anymore, or it's like, oh, I've outgrown it. It's you see that, and I think it kind of shows it at the end where they've matured because of the little girl. Now they have a lot of kids there, and they're in charge, like they're the parents, and they look like a
Mhm.
domestic couple. They look like they're together, that they're just like by just two guys raising a kid.
And then at the end, he's like, "What's saying like, well, it's easy for you to go to work all day and
Oh yeah,
not tell her not to watch MTV for 8 hours,
because he's there with her.
so Ricky's the one staying at home watching
Yeah,
the girl.
yes. I caught
Like I
that.
thought that was hilarious.
I caught that. Like he doesn't even tell her. She lets her do whatever. I caught that.
Yeah.
Oh God, that hits that hits a one real. It hits me right in the cojones right there, man. I'm like, yeah, because
Right.
sometimes my old lady's like, what do you call it? I work for like 8 hours and I gotta watch the kid for 8 hours, and I'm like, man, let's just watch TV. It's like let's go eat sandwiches. Let's go eat ice cream. Let's go get this stuff, But I mean, my time when he's asleep is when I work. So I'm like now this is literally turning into a job, and I'm liking it. I'm making a schedule. It's like crazy. Like I took myself serious. I go, man, I saw you take notes, and I was like, man, I don't want to just sit there and just talk. It seems kind of pompous in a way, and kind of like a Ricky move. So I don't want to be like that, like.
Oh yeah. Well, and right before I started this, Kenny got me a little notepad. So it was a little bit easier to start taking notes when I had that little help right there.
I think, and I
Uh,
think, I think, I think it was easy for me to do these because I've seen these two movies. Oh, by the way, the homage to the Reservoir Dogs scene, but right before that, they hit you with the
yes.
poster. It's right in your face, and then they do the
Mhm.
scene. You're like, there's just little things like that I love.
Everybody steals from other directors. That was one thing that I did have written down as well. Like, well, actually, two things. I'll go ahead and have what I wrote down. I thought the Ron Livingston character would have been a better role for Vaughn at first. Like whenever I first kind of like heard him, and whenever they were golfing, really, that's when I was like, Vince Vaughn could have played this role. But it wasn't until like I saw like his backstory. Um, and this is in Swingers. Like I said, his backstory, and then you saw him at the bar interacting with their other friend. I can't remember his name. Um, and then he's just like, yeah, I got he was talking about the Goofy
Goofy.
character, yeah, and all this other stuff, and he's like, yeah, I haven't heard back yet. It's like it's been a month, like just let it go, kind of thing. So after that, I was like, okay, this role was for Ron Livingston for sure. Like I don't
Yeah.
think Vince Vaughn could have done that very well. Vince Vaughn, like at first, I was like, it was weird because it didn't. Now, and this is coming from knowing Vince Vaughn, like never seeing this movie, but seeing other Vince Vaughn movies,
Yeah.
it didn't. It was like it didn't feel almost like Vince Vaughn, like if that makes sense.
No,
Like
no,
it
no.
was like Made was more of a Vince Vaughn to me than this one was. This one was like over the top in a different way, like the baby here and baby there. Like at first I was like, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna get used to this. And then eventually like it just kind of was like,
He,
okay,
he
that's his thing. Like you accept him as the movie goes on, which
he
I thought was interesting.
he doesn't like he comes off as a sleazeball, but it's not like grotesque.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave you with like a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, he doesn't leave you like a bad feeling. It's a bad taste. Like, nah, man. Like it's just like, it's like, okay. Like it's like going and eating at a fine dining restaurant and the waiter's like weird and or
Yeah.
awkward or
Yes.
like
Okay.
that's what it is. Like you're still enjoying it, but he's like, well, every time he shows up, you're like, what's going on? Like he's like, you're like either you guys are having an intimate talk and then he comes in with a super like a bunch of energy, or it's just stuff like that. Oh, a quick little fact: Swingers is in 1996, and the next role is he had Lost World, so that was a
Yeah.
big jump. I think that's a big jump, man.
Yeah.
For him.
And even watching that, like I watched that recently. It came on to Netflix, and I was like, okay, this is Vince Vaughn, but just like where he isn't in control of the movie at all. Like
Mhm.
he's not a scene stealer in
Yeah,
that movie at all. Um, yeah, man. Oh, I was gonna say something else. Oh, whenever they were talking about the directors, whenever they were having a conversation about like it was right. I think it was right before that Reservoir Dog scene
Mhm.
or the homage to it. I thought that was really cool. I was like, okay, man, that would be cool just to be sitting there talking about directors with a bunch of of your guy friends and stuff like that. Like I thought that was like, I've
yeah.
never like every once in a while I've had a conversation like that. Like after our improv nights, we would sit there and just talk about movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I thought that was really really kind of cool.
It, it,
But
I like this movie because it reminds me a lot of my when I was younger and the decisions I made.
mhm,
I definitely was one of those guys. I didn't know what I want to do in my life, so I did whatever and whatever I could, and I enjoyed going. But the thing I noticed, I had to, because I noticed I can't do this anymore as much as I want to. So I noticed I did this a lot. I like to chill. I like to just be like, oh, hang out, or sometimes like something would happen. One story that made me realize is like my personality is just kind of very adaptable, very fluid. Now it's I guess I used to be like not as now because I have the kids, so I'm very like on schedule because I want to do other things. If you don't, you have to have a schedule with a kid. Um,
mhm,
but like back then, like I remember one time like taking like you have that like coworker or friend or classmate. I think I was like 21 or 22, where they're like you're kind of you get along. You guys don't really you're in the same group of people, but they don't. I mean, I don't really care like that, but some people like they don't like me or they just kind of they can't feel me. They can't vibe me right, or the fact that I kind of do my own thing. People don't like that, and sometimes you'll have somebody be like, hey. I need you to like I had a friend tell me like, hey, can you go drop this off at another friend's house? I was like, well, that guy don't really like me, but okay, I'll do it because you don't like me. So I'll go over there. And it was just like it was like a portrait or something like that. It was like and that guy was like because basically it wasn't like communication now. It was basically like CJ's on his way, but he didn't text him that till like I was already there. So he couldn't say like, oh, I don't want to see him or anything. So when I got there, he was like, oh, it's you. It's like, all right, cool. And I remember going into the guy's apartment and then seeing I want to say it was Terminator or it was a knockoff one. It wasn't Terminator itself, but he had a VHS copy of a movie that it was a Guyver. That's
mhm.
what it was. Because I remember I go, dude, you own the Guyver, and he goes, what? Like his attitude completely changed when it was like always talk to me like, well, whatever, man. And then he goes, what'd you say about the Guyver? I go, you have the Guyver the movie? He goes, yeah. I goes, dude, I love that movie. He goes, wait, you know about it? I go, yeah, it's got the Guyver and the Guyver too. He goes, wait, I got the Guyver too, and he's got all excited, and then he busted it out, and I just watched it with him, like he had the day off or something, and I was just bumming around, and I remember watching the Guyver with him, and then we ended up watching the Guyver 2, and he was like, I said watching, like, I got there like at 4 in the afternoon, I didn't leave till like 11, and he was like, you know what, man, you're a good guy, man, appreciate it. Appreciate your taste in movies, even though other people don't like it, and because I guess people give him crap for it, and I remember like not too long ago, I was watching the Guyver at a friend's house in College Station, and he goes, "What the hell is this? Power Rangers? What the hell is this?" And I go, "Well, the budget went down a little bit, but the movie's good. They're kind of fun." And so I remember when I said that I saw it, he liked it. I was like, "Well, if he owns it, he has to like it, right?" So I just brought it up, and then we ended up being like, it ended up our friendship started getting a little bit got better, and that's what I do like about movies. I did want to bring up there's a character in this movie and Swingers, and I want to say that he's in this movie because he's just so damn cool. It's I hope I don't mess his name up. It's Alex Dessert. It's the black guy that's in the
Yeah,
group. Dude, I think
yeah.
he like because even when he does other roles, he's also like in Becker, and he's another other role. He's kind of a chill guy the way he talks, but
He's
in the
blind in Becker, right?
I think so.
Is
Like,
that
yeah,
one?
I
Yeah.
think he's blind in that one. And but the way he's in this movie, the way he comes out, he's just real smooth. He's real cool. Like I feel like he's like an old soul. Like his character, I feel like that character was meant for him. Like it wasn't meant to play by anybody else. But I see him because meeting people like him and me surrounding myself around people like him has made me a little bit more like better, like cool, being cool, like not so uptight,
Hmm.
and because it's just letting things go. But the way he is, like he's even like the scene where he talks about the parents paying your rent, like
Yeah.
he really like he's the cool guy. And he's man, what's that? What they paid? Oh, like they had the conversation. They had this long conversation about in the movie. They have this long conversation about like is it I think Rob feels bad because he didn't get the part. Oh, he didn't get the part for a movie, and there's like a process where everyone says like, "Oh, did you tell your parents? Like, did your parents that are they
Hmm.
like, oh, well, how long has it been since you told your parents? A month? Oh yeah, you're good. Or 6 months? Oh yeah, they'll forget. Like, so, but it's cool when his
He was going to be on Star Trek
yeah,
Generations,
yeah,
but he never, or Star Trek. Yeah, yeah. It would have been, oh, Deep Space Nine
yeah.
is what he said. And then they still haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, but then that character comes in, and as he comes in, he says he goes like he gets all the questions right, like all of it. His name is Charles in the movie, and he goes, oh, so you get the pilot? No. Oh, you get the pilot? No. Oh, so did you already tell your parents? No, they still pay your rent? Yeah, yeah. It's all like we all do it. Like he's in here saying like we're all like this, man, like just accept it and go. Like you can learn a lot from this movie about. I honestly think if you watch this movie anywhere from like 15 to like 21, 22, 23ish, like you really like can help you out a little bit on just like, I mean, I don't know about nowadays, but maybe even the future when things get a little bit different and you kind of move around. But I think it really like helps you like just like if you're lost and you're stuck somewhere, like you see a guy kind of go through it, and like I mean, even I've been that guy. I'm gonna admit this. I've been that guy that we go out to like you go out and you end up picking girls, but I just don't talk about my ex girlfriend and it ruins the mood. And then like my buddies like dude, shut up. Like, but even that's to the extreme. Like Vince Vaughn's basically naked, and he's like, I gotta use
Yeah,
the phone. And that's another thing. He had to go in the room to use the phone. I love that. I love that
yeah.
because that's exactly what I had to do.
Well, man, it was funny too because you kind of get a little bit of Vince Vaughn's character in there. He's making out with that girl. He's like, I gotta go check on my boy,
Yeah.
and like he goes and checks on him, and looks like he's doing okay.
Oh, the
And then
bacon.
like first, it looks at first it's like, oh, he's just making out with her. I was like, okay, cool. And then he comes and knocks on the door, and he's just like, all right, yeah, here's a condom, you
Yeah.
know, and all that. Honestly, dude, this kind of reminded me a little bit of like How I Met Your Mother, like Vince Vaughn being the Barney
Oh
character,
yeah.
and then Ted being a mix between like Marshall and Ted, like
Yeah, you're right.
or Mike,
Like Barney,
you
Barney.
know, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're absolutely right. I think, wow, this could have been, this could have spun How I Met Your Mother. What was I gonna say? Also the part with, about, was it Maid or Swingers? The, like even like you were right. The wrong. I want to go back to that part where they were playing golf. I see what you're saying because Vince Vaughn could be like the hype guy, but I like the Rob character, because he's more real at
Hmm.
that point. He's more like just he's trying to be, and I feel like, see, that's the cool thing. I feel like I was a combination of Mikey and Trent, and my buddy was Rob, and then he was like, but it could have easily been, he should have been more of a Bobby character, and I was more of the Trent, but I was kind of a combination of both of those guys. Like
Yeah.
if like you got, it was basically when you saw when Trent talks about his breakup, I was the Trent one, and but I was, it's a it's kind of sorry, it's kind of the way I the way I was raised, and the way I see things is like, you have a friend, they're your friend, like and that's true. You're right. It's like, let me go check on my boy. Like he really like, like I gotta.
Yeah.
It's that family. So you really feel like those characters are kind of like growing up, from one movie to the next, and it's the actors as well. They're growing up, and you're seeing it through their eyes and their portrayal, and I like it. I really enjoy just watching both these movies. I want to say like these movies make me really appreciate Chef. Like I
Yeah.
really, and I love Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he's got that one scene, and I love him in that movie. Like he's just such a prick, man, but he does it so well. Like, and he's all over the place, and he messes you up on purpose, and he's just giving you the business for no reason, like other than that you're with his ex. Like that's it, and you have to come. You have to.
Hmm.
He's like, but like that Robert Downey Jr. character, that scene is like amazing. That's like, it's like, what do you think I should do? Should I keep it? Are you talking about the floor or another kid? So, I got my tube side, and like he's like that's another character that's around Jon Favreau that's talking really fast.
Hmm.
That's doing that, where he's like the kind of the straight character again, the straight man. But there's just so much I love about just Swingers, the timing, the feel. When I started after I finished watching them, I was like, I feel like these movies are definitely geared towards me because you hadn't seen them, but then now that I saw that down seeing that how you like them, you enjoyed them. Like, all right, cool. I felt like I was like, oh, I don't want to, kind of don't want to gear somebody in the way like it's only towards me. Like, I was kind of trying to meet you in the middle, but I'm happy that it was like, hey, it's like we went to a, like just like that, like you go to a party or a bar, and then they're like, I'm telling you, this is the one we got to go to, and you go inside, and there's nobody there. But I was like, this
Yeah.
this felt like I was like, oh no, we got there and there's some people and he was cool with it. That's all right. Let's keep going.
So, TJ, I got a question for you.
I know what the question is. Let's do
One
this.
out of 13.
I got this.
Where you sitting at? Let's go ahead and
This
since it came first, let's do swingers first.
Man. Okay, so it's I'm not gonna do the 11, 12, or 13 on this one. I'm gonna give this one a solid 10 because it's not like it's probably not gonna be my top 20, but it's up there. It's in my top
Yep.
50. But Swingers is definitely gonna be a hard 10. I want to say I'm actually gonna need to make a video explaining the way I I rate 1 through 13 because like I always say the 13 is a must watch. You can't watch it. You can't, you have to watch it. But like with me and Swingers, I feel like as much as I've talked about it, and I'm also getting better at rating. I'm trying to figure out the middle portion for me. But I'll give this one a 10 because I feel like it's a must watch. But I feel like it's a different time now
Yep.
where I gave Bedazzled a 13 because of me, but I feel like you can watch that movie now and it'll connect. But I feel Swingers an acquired taste. I feel like Swingers is definitely, if you're a Jon Favreau fan, I would definitely highly recommend his work. See, a lot of his work is good. If you're a filmmaker learning, if you're an actor, just watch his movies. You can learn because I feel like when you watch the beginning stuff, you really see how they figured it out. Once you get to the big, like, I mean, Jungle Book's amazing. If you've seen Jungle Book, it is. I saw it 3 times in the theater. It's a good movie. Because my son was about to be born, so it was really helping me. Kind of like, hey, this is nice. It was kind of cool though. I saw Infinity War was the last movie I saw at the theaters before my son was born, and then Endgame was the first movie I saw when after my son was
That's
born.
cool.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, I have to wait because because you don't, I don't, and I, you don't want to just leave your family, but you want to spend so much time with them. So you watch the movie to me feels like it's like kind of like I want to watch this movie because y'all can't, but I don't want to be that guy. But I need to watch this movie. I need to get this thing done. I'm already at the end. I just need to watch the final episode. But I'll give it a 10. And the 10 to me means like it's a must watch. It's a good one. Oh, you know what? I'll say that if you're a filmmaker, an actor, it'll be definitely a 13. It needs to be in your wheelhouse. But if you just want to watch a good movie, you want to watch a time movie, a peace movie from a comedy, like but it's not really a dark comedy, but more of a life comedy.
Yeah.
It's not really trying to like be funny in your face. It's a slice of life. There you go. It's a slice of life flick. I'll give this one a hard 10, seal approval. The directing, the acting, all the characters, everybody in this movie is amazing. Yeah. What you think?
So I'm not too far behind you, but I'm giving it a 9. Um, I have to agree with you, man. Like, honestly, I think if I had seen this movie whenever I was a little bit younger, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, like this is the kind of deal. I mean, it's not. I wasn't exactly experiencing the same thing, like. oh, we go to all these bars. Whenever I was really kind of coming of age in that time, there was like one or two, possibly three bars you were going to. I was in this small town,
Yeah.
so it was a little bit different aspect, and I was able to drink at the bars because I had this fantastic beard. A little bit before I turned 21. Uh, but I mean, and that was just because it was a small town too. I mean, we got in there like at the perfect time to where people
Yeah.
weren't getting carded, and like I said, it helped that I looked like I was almost 30, you know. Um, so I think if I'd seen Swingers, then I would have, around that time, I would have been like, this is like a must see. Like I would have
Yeah.
probably given it like an 11 or 12. But just seeing it whenever I did, and with because like I said, this is my first time viewing both of these movies. I'd heard about Swingers before. I heard that it was good. I just kind of I sat on it. I really didn't. I wasn't like, oh, I have to see that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did, man. Like it was a fun movie. It took me, like I said, it took me a little bit to kind of get into it. I would say at the 40-minute mark is because I had paused it for some reason. I was like, okay, like I want to get back into this and uh, see where it goes. Because at first, like I was Trent's character was like, oh, your money, baby, your money, baby. And I was just like, oh man, it's just gonna be more or less this for an hour and a half. And that was like my initial thought, and I was like, don't get me wrong, like I love Vince Vaughn, but this is just a little much, Whereas with Ricky, man, with his other character in Made, like, yeah, he was annoying, but it's for totally different reasons. I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting, but yeah, solid 9 on this movie. It was really a fun movie to watch, a funny movie to watch. It made me laugh out loud a couple times, and just yeah, man, it was a fun movie, and like you said, it just kind of as I was watching it, I was kind of reflecting on a relationship that I kind of felt like that. I was just like, man, you really do. You get into those ruts, man, and if you don't have anybody to pull you out, you'll just stay there for a while.
Yeah, dude.
And
You
he was lucky to have people that are just willing to come on, keep on going. You know, so I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, and you're right. I think like you can easily get stuck in that little part of like that of your life, or like because it's weird, especially because they're younger in that movie, and then I was younger when I went through that relationship, and it did mold who I want to say who I am today a lot. But like when you watch something like that, you realize that you're not the only person that's going through this. Other people go through it, and I feel like right now I could write something specifically a really good something like similar to this, and I would like love to kind of sink my teeth into that. Well, on my chopping block of movies that I have in my head, there's not really a breakup one like this. I have like ideas of something like I think funny scenes, but I don't have like story. But this
Hmm.
is this I would like to put something off like a Swingers. I like that in the beginning they did the inanimate object talking only once. I
Hmm.
thought that was going to be a thing. And, when I was younger, I probably would have liked it. Now that I'm older and I understand filmmaking a little bit better, I think they like the fact that he only did it that one time, that he doesn't
Yeah.
just talk to himself. Like it's just like everybody telling you it's a bad idea. Even the damn voice record machine is telling you it's a bad idea. Like I like that about Swingers.
It didn't go too absurd. It came right back to reality pretty quickly.
It did, and it keeps you there. Oh, I wanted to say too. The part I love about Swingers is when Vince Vaughn's trying to build up John. Or sorry, I want to use his name. Trent is trying to build up Mikey, and he tells him about being. You got to be don't be the PG-13 guy. Don't be the one everybody's rooting
Hmm.
for. Be the rated R guy. And that's those lines. So that's the kind of what I would my buddy and I would talk about. And he's like, don't be the rated R guy. They don't know what you're gonna if they like you yet or not. And that's that line like you say that line right before you're gonna go as a wingman. Like I think that shows a lot of like you believe in your guy, your money, and that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
And I mean the part where Sue and Trent are talking to right there, and he goes, dude, come on, man, your money. He doesn't even know how much money he is. Like that's
Hmm.
like I I I'm kind of that guy in a way, but only with like really good friends that are like down. Like, you better stop it. You better, you still want to hang around me. You better
Yeah.
pick your chin up because I was gonna put me down. I don't want to be down. We got to be up, And I
Well,
think,
Oh, and sorry, I was just gonna say, I think after he gives him that speech so many times, then he gives him that speech about having the claws and these big teeth, and
Yes.
like, how do I hunt this rabbit? And he was just like, he was progressively getting to be more of an asshole because he was just like, you're not getting it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not getting it. And then you see him at the very end where he's like on the table and being rude to that waitress and
Oh
shit like
yeah.
that,
Get that.
and and all that. But yeah, it's interesting because he's the hype guy and he's like, yeah, you got this, man. But eventually he's just like, okay, enough's enough. Like you got these claws, man. You got these teeth, and you don't know how to kill this rabbit. And he just said it over and over and over again until it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, man. Like
And
it
and then
was it was
and then
neat.
and both those movies have a scene like that. I just realized that like Vince Vaughn takes a girl to another room, and John Favreau's left in the room with the other one, and then something goes wrong. So there's kind of a little
Hmm.
connection there, a little homage. So what you think about Made? Where's your
Made, I would rate it just a little bit higher. I'm gonna give it a 10.
wow?
I think just from a movie aspect, like you said, Swingers is kind of like I felt that part of my life. Like I felt like it was almost like a snapshot of what life is normally like around your mid 20s.
Yeah,
Like that's a good one. Made was more. I just thought it was the movie was put together really well. Like it had a nice flow to it. The Even with the camera angles and stuff like that. Knowing it's the Jon Favreau movie and everything, like you see, it's a little shaky at first whenever he walks in the first time, and it's almost like you're looking through his eyes, and then he just kind of comes out of the side of the camera and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, you know, and whereas with Swingers, man, like it's sometimes you're like, and this is a little bit towards the end of the movie too. Like some of the shots were like real grainy and stuff like that, which
yeah,
I think that might have been what he was going for. But I mean, with a budget of 200,000, maybe you're just trying to look cool
yeah.
without trying, almost like the Vince Vaughn character, like trying to puff up without actually having to put out anything. Um, but yeah, man, Made was a solid movie, an odd but happy ending. Like that was like, in just in
Yeah.
retrospect, like where he just like takes this lady's daughter, like just out of nowhere. I mean, just that whole fact, like. But if you can get outside of your head on that one, like it's a solid movie. Like Peter Falk is great. Like he, yeah. I mean,
He's like an unchained Columbo, but like he's older.
uh-huh.
He's perfect. He's like they got great cameos and great people characters in the movie.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? I feel like when I watch Swingers, because I have so many notes on Swingers. I have a page and a half on Swingers. Like
Wow.
I mean I've been the old 20s feel. I mean they talk really highly of, I mean when Trent talks really highly of themselves, like that part really is like, dude, you guys are nothing and you're over here. But that's the kind of you didn't have that attitude, but I think inside
Fake
you
it till
don't.
you make it.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I've heard so that one was funny. I heard Fake It Till You Make It when I was around like 26 years old, 27 years old. And the people
Mhm.
that I heard tell me Fake It Till You Make It were these little scenester people from the bars that they're, fake it till you make it. Well, I was like, the other day I was like, these guys really think they're faking it while they're making it, or I'm sorry, they really think they're making it while they're faking it. You can't grow off fake vowels or like, fake views. It doesn't. It's snake oil. It doesn't. It has nothing. No tiene nada que se pega. Like it doesn't stick to anything. So
Yeah.
like it doesn't. There's not, so when I watch Swingers, like to me like a lot of the way they are, like they're young guys, they're trying to just to do the thing. And oh, I love the cars, the way like we used to do that. It's like 10 guys, five, I mean 4 or 5 guys, and you're just in a line of cars driving behind each other, and then you could just get in one car and go to, but it's like everybody takes their own car. That's a funny thing. That's a little funny little joke there. It cracks me up that they do. I like that they do it a lot. I will say another real quick about Made. I didn't bring him up. It was Sam Rockwell's character. He's in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's good. I guess he feels like a gay, I guess like a liaison.
Yeah, I guess you would just kind of assume that just from the way whenever he walks in, it's like it's so tore up in here. Like
Yeah,
he's like, oh my god.
yeah. I
Like
guess.
he just
Well, he's
he's
a
very
feminine.
relaxed about it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Like he's seen stuff. Yes. Like sorry. You're right. He's so. I totally didn't. I didn't connect that. I didn't connect
Yeah.
that he was he's never phased by what he sees because every time he walks in, he's just very. He throws a drink. See, that was the thing when Ricky gets so upset and he doesn't mean to, but he throws a get out and he throws a drink at him. It doesn't even
And then he
phase.
does it again.
It doesn't phase
It was
him.
like Cain and Abel in year
Yes,
one.
yes.
Like, get up. And then he throws the little thing at him. You know,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
uh,
So with this, I mean, I have Vegas like real big. I just love. I love Vegas. It's just such a good feeling in this. It's like I think I like Vegas so much. I love it because it's has a it's like a past. It's kind of stuck in the past though, but it's like a good bad feeling. So swingers, I would use the word definitely nostalgia, fun, joy, commodity, friendship. I don't know what word I would use for made, but like you say, the ending, I to me it feels like okay. So this is what I feel made is like. I feel like you have a dislocated shoulder, and you've been just trying to work live your life with this dislocated shoulder, and it's like, dude, you can fix your shoulder, put it back in place. Like, no, I'm cool, I'm okay. And it isn't until the end where he has to let go, where it's like you're holding on to the pain for no reason. Where
mhm,
in swingers you're holding on to the pain for no reason, but it's because it's internally. It's a scar. I mean, both of these are internal, but it's like a scar that's on you. You just need healing. It's basically you need healing. Where made is like a fracture. You're injured, but it's something you can fix yourself. And I think the fact that I'm kind of like I put myself in that scenario where I've been in those situations where they have been like kind of like, I mean, not to that extreme, but it's kind of like, all right, we could have avoided all this, or we didn't have to go this route, or why did we go this way or the ugly way? Why don't we just stop? Or why don't we just stop? Why don't we just turn around? Like stuff like that. So when I started picking up more things, and it's weird, you start seeing patterns and people start doing things, and that's what they figured out with Ricky's character. That's why they let him go to the drop off, and he still makes it to the damn drop off. That's funny,
mhm,
man. Like I don't even know how he just shows up, and he has that little gun, but it's funny. Like he still was that little scene help that little delay helped them survive. But I'll say made. I'll give it a 10 as well. I'll give if you're a Jon Favreau fan and you watch and you like his movies, you'll probably give it a 13 when you watch both of them and you
mhm.
understand them. But as it stands, Made is a 10 for me, and because it hits the bill on everything. It's a pretty good movie. I'll say that the shot angles, the beginning, the Sinatra music, the old timey stuff, like they're both involved Vegas. So I'm assuming Jon Favreau likes Vegas a lot, or but they both have different. Oh no, sorry, they didn't. No, he isn't. They're not in Vegas. Are they in
They're in L.A.
L.A.? Sorry,
and
yeah,
and
sorry. I
then and
feel
then they go to New York.
they go to New
No,
York.
it's fine, man.
I feel it feels like the same vibe. Sorry, no, I was off. But
Yeah. No, I mean, I was doing it. I was calling them the wrong
because
character. So,
they're in
yeah.
LA. So they're in LA to go to New York and they come back. And there's that scene where he tells them, where like 34 whatever street is, like no, because he's not from there, or you've been there, no, I don't know, or the red, where the red place is, like no, and it's true, they're not from there, they're not from New York, so he doesn't know that. So I say give it a 10, the same I gave it as Swingers. I think if you want to watch a double feature, watch them back to back. They're
Mhm.
great movies. Yeah, you have what was it Batfleck or was it Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? You had what was the name they called them? Uh,
Uh,
Whatever. But what did they have? You had those guys.
yeah.
You had what's the I had a whole list and I didn't write them down. See, that's why you need to write things down so you remember the list. You also had and then you had other character movies like
Are you saying the frat pack? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, stuff like
Yeah.
that. You had those guys, and then you have these guys.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I feel like they were definitely in there at that time. Well, I don't know, man. Because who was it? It was like the frat pack was like Owen Wilson,
yeah.
like Luke. I don't know if even Luke Wilson made it on there. Ben
What
Stiller,
yeah,
I
like
think.
the Joe Bud Teller movies, all those like spin-off movies, like old school.
Yeah.
They all
And then, well, yeah, like pretty much if you were in the Royal Tenenbaums, you were in the
yeah,
Rat Pack,
yeah.
you know,
That
or
exactly.
Frat Pack. Yeah.
So that like those kind of movies, like I like that they kind of all kind of spun off. They like you had those kind of characters, but you have these guys, and I feel like these guys are like definitely the blue collar filmmakers. It's
Hmm.
just Vince Vaughn is he's so, I don't want to say persuasive, but he's so like you accept them that you think that's him. You might think that's him how he is in real life. Maybe he's just a character, but the fact that he has like you feel like he's just like I don't know. He's like it's so much of a tool to know this, but in Made he's a producer, but it's not him.
Yep.
You don't know him. It's the characters he plays, and he just does it so well. He sells them so well that you think like, ah, man, it sucks. I do want to give out a shout out to Jennifer Esposita, who is in Maid. She plays the girl that is about to do it with Ricky, but she
Oh
freaks
yeah,
out. That's her. Oh, I think she's beautiful. Like I love her acting too, and I
she
see a
was in
lot.
Master of Disguise.
Yes, yes. Become another person. Become another person. Become another person. Like that's actually kind of. I think that's how Dana Carvey probably does it. But she's in that
Probably.
one. She's in Dracula 2000. Oh, she's like beautiful in that
Oh yeah,
one. She's real good. But
yeah.
it's like she's in a lot of some of Sam. She's a gorgeous actor. She's like the Mendez. What's her name? I already forgot her name.
Eva Mendes.
It's like Eva Mendes, but she's the
Yeah.
Eva Mendes before Eva Mendes. But like there's some really good solid performances in this movie it made. Like I said, I give them both a 10. I would think that I don't know. I was gonna say something. Sorry, my brain went two places, but uh, I have been being followed by Jaws. Jaws is
Really?
following me. Yeah, I saw this week I saw Airplane because we did a review. Alec and I did a review of it. So I saw Airplane, and in the beginning of that, it has the Jaws, da 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 da, and then I saw what did I say? I see it in Swingers. There's the shark. There's the
Yep.
shark one, and then what other movie that I just saw? Oh, okay. So now I wanted to watch. I had a suggestion. I was like, well, maybe I like Robert Townsend. I like his movies, but I was gonna try to see what we could bring up. But then I accidentally came across because of the Jaws reference. I saw a movie. I had it as background noise, and then I kind of remember I saw that scene where the shark pops out, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop watching this. I need to recommend it to Ben and maybe see if he wants to do it. The third movie that Jaws has been following me is Ace Ventura.
Yes, I
Dude,
watched that recently.
did you just recently watch it? I was like, I want to watch it because I mean, maybe we should just watch it ourselves. But I was like, oh my god, this movie because I saw this movie in the theaters. It's like '92, right, or 1990? I forget.
Yeah,
It's
possibly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think it's like 91
yeah,
somewhere. It's in
somewhere around
that.
there.
It's because I think Ace Ventura 2 is in 92. I don't know, but it's real. I was real young, and I was like, I think I just remember loving Jim Carrey in these movies. I don't
Yes.
I have like completely I know the stories, but I didn't get any of the references.
Hmm.
So when I was watching this, I was paying attention. I was like, "Oh God, I have my adult brain on, not my child brain on." Because I've always seen those movies, but you just watch it, that's not Snowflake. You start watching, you get all caught up on those, you get caught on his performance. But then, I mean, God, when he's talking to what's his name, Toklone, or I mess his name up, but he's
Oh, Lockdown.
Lactone, yeah.
Something like
He's
that.
he's bent over with his butt, and
Tone Lock.
he goes, you have mint or banaka. It's like that's just a character. Like you talking about the cop, but man, I was like, I remember watching an interview about Jim Carrey, and he said that was after doing Ace Ventura 2, that's when he realized he didn't want to do the same characters again, and that's why he never did Dumb and Dumber like the sequel to it because he said he didn't want to play Lloyd Christmas again. And I want to see like I think I mean he could have done Ace Ventura 3. He seriously could
Yeah,
have done it because he's so good. He's the same character in 1 and 2. Like you can take there's no character development. There's no change. You can take the character and switch them, and it's the same guy. So I'm like, wow, like if they could have made a third one, and it'd be cool if they did make a third one nowadays. If you had
yeah.
Edge of 3 would like be a
Well, what's funny, man, is I think there was an Ace Ventura 3, but he wasn't part of it. I
I was a
think it
little
was like
kid,
his
the little
kid.
kid. Yeah,
Yeah, and that happened with the Son of the Mask too.
that's true.
Like, and which, oh my God, Jamie Kennedy was on that. I remember that was. I enjoyed it as a child, but I could not rewatch it
It's
later
hard.
on.
It's hard.
Um, yeah, Ace Ventura is a great movie. That's one that I grew up watching. That and Tommy Boy, man, those were like staples. Whenever I was watching movies, actually, that Tommy Boy and Jurassic Park, all pretty much interchangeable. I could go and watch those anytime. For some reason, man, my mom let me watch Ace Ventura, and I think it's just because like that simple fact of like I wouldn't get the references, but it was a fun movie to watch anyway. Like I didn't even get the whole Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Like I didn't get the he had he had
Why
like a
I
sex change surgery or anything
oh
like that.
yeah, it's
Not
also
when I was real young whenever I was watching that, and it just I was just like, did he poop his pants?
oh yeah, like
Like
the worst case of hemorrhoids. I'm like, what is that? I didn't know. I mean,
yeah.
I got the Finkel Einhorn thing, but I didn't really get it. And then I started
Hmm.
laughing because they're making out, and it's like, oh, he kissed a guy. It's like
Yeah. Everybody starts spitting like
leave the dolphin. He's like shit off
yeah.
the dolphin. But even I mean that I mean I don't think that movie. I mean, you could make those movies these days, but it wouldn't have the impact like it did back then. But because of
Yeah.
the trans thing, they kind of I think people take it too personal for some reason. But
Hmm.
oh, you know, I didn't even realize I didn't do the Rotten Tomato
Oh, I
and
didn't either, man.
oh, let's do that real
As
quick.
actually, I know on IMDb both of them got like a 60 score. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
So Made got a on IMDb score a 6.4. Wow, it got a 6 point. It might be a little too dark for some people. Swingers has a 7.2.
Okay.
So let's see what's see. Man, I yeah. Oh, whoa!
Swinger.
Swingers has an 87 critic and an 89 audience.
Oh
And
wow.
Made has it's gonna probably be up same. Oh, 71 critics, 67. So it's in the same ballpark. It just didn't get as much love. Yeah, Made. Nobody really knows about Made. I don't think people like
Yeah.
really. I think it's that's what it is because you have 18,000 people voting on Made, and then on Swingers you have 58. Yeah, a lot of people know more about Swingers, and then the fact that it made so much money. Oh, then Heather Graham. I'm sorry, I didn't even bring up Heather Graham.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh, she was just perfect in that movie, and it makes you feel. And that's oh, I have that note here. I love to kind of backtrack a little bit. I love here that when one of my notes here is the phone call, that the end, the phone call.
Hmm.
Remember these are spoilers, so you don't want to hear it. Um,
Yeah. At the end of the show, here's spoilers.
yeah,
Don't.
his yeah. Well, by this point, you should know. You should have caught on. So, but if you're catching it, I'm gonna make sure there's a disclaimer in the front of the video. So, you know, the phone call at the end of the end, Mikey makes the right decision to close the chapter in his past in order to get on with the future. He doesn't
He
know it.
almost looks like he's gonna cry, man. Like he's just like, oh man, my friends do the exact same thing, and it's like he's almost got tears in his eyes. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, 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 no,
stop you.
no, no, no. I'm just being silly. I was just picking up the book. No, no, you're right. No, I think about the phone call because so I did it kind of tortured me a little bit was my ex. She did call me one time, but it was like at 2 in the morning, and I was already like asleep or passed out. I don't know what it was, but I remember waking up in the morning. I saw the missed call, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she called me!" And it's like, is she fine? But I called her a few times. I was like, I've been trying, and then she, months passed, and she finally called me, and you're like, "Oh man!" And then you call back, you don't answer. You send a text, and you get a reply, and you're just like, "Well, I guess it's over again." But like at the end when he chose to be like, I was like, oh, I know kind of how that feeling is. Like he chose to just like, and then she says, "I love you." Like she tells him, "I
And he
love
just
you."
like almost hangs up like
Yeah, yeah,
halfway through
okay,
it.
yeah, yeah. And like the thing,
Yeah.
and that's what's crazy. It shows you the thing he's been waiting for. He's been wanting the thing he's been driving. The whole thing's behind this movie. There's Achilles' heels. It's like it's right. The one thing that he just wanted, the thing that held him down and crippled him, and then he has it. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go over here because the Heather Graham character, just what she says, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to wait
Hmm.
she wants to talk to him, and he's about to blow it, and it's like, nah, dude, you can't really because he does screw it up with the other chick, with the other girl.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
calls her like
yeah,
20
yeah.
times.
Well, I mean, in his defense, he's just trying to make sure the message went through right, and he's trying to explain
Yeah.
himself, but he needs to understand that he can't do
He
this.
sounds crazy.
Yeah,
He seems like a crazy person. Like
yeah,
even today's time, like you call somebody that many times, like I mean, even kids could pick up on that and they'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like he's, you know, uh, but yeah, dude. And that's another thing. Like watching these movies, like seeing the answering machines and the pagers, and
I
like
love it.
it's like a blast from the past, dude. Like and I saw a little bit of that. Like I remember quite a bit of like people having pagers and cell phones were not as prominent whenever I was growing up. I think it wasn't until like 2000, 2002 that cell phones were even kind of getting into my family, and I didn't have
Yeah.
one until God 2005, 2006.
All
So I
right.
mean that was still, something that was foreign for a while. Like we had an answer machine, we had the whole dial-up internet, and if luckily we had two phone lines, so we could be on the internet and still get a
Oh
phone
yeah,
call,
yeah,
no
yeah. I remember
problem.
that was an issue.
Um, but yeah, dude, like it was kind of cool. It was almost like, okay, yeah, this is like, and even Made being in 2001. I mean, granted that was 19 years ago, but like, there's almost like a disconnect. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, we had to have a pager. You get a pager, and then even in the beginning, Vince Vaughn's like, "You think I have a cell phone?"
that's
Like,
true. That's
get
oh yes, yes, yes. You're right. I wouldn't be using the phone if I had a cell. I wouldn't be using the company line if I had a cell
yeah,
phone. Get off the phone. Oh, he also that's. I mean, this is. I don't mean to be like offending anybody, but when he comes in, the project manager comes in and he starts tricking up because the couple with coming with that the gay designer. And then they walk
Hmm.
out, and then the project manager comes in. He goes, "Hey, look out, the fags here!" Like it just threw me off. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, they talk like that." Construction sites, it's just like oh, but I mean, it was you're right at the time. Like it's like, hey, let's go. And I want to say that the like I don't know if I'm showing privilege or anything, but I had a beeper. So
Yeah.
I had I'm older, so I should have had something, but I had a beeper and a pager. Now a pager is what I remember it was you could actually communicate with the other pagers. Like you can send a message or like a number like call page this number that the pagers could speak to each other. Where a beeper was just like basically like a notification to you. Where a pager said like a number, like a beeper you'd see and it'd say like the number, so you have to call the number to try and get a hold of you. Where a pager, a pager was like someone sends you a message, like a text message, or it said like call mom, or you could say something more. There's a little bit more elaborate. That's kind of crazy. Now I'm figured out what they did because now I read all
Yeah.
these books on like software and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's why they did this. That makes sense because it was just back then. It was like, how would you get the piece of paper to somebody else? We'll just throw them the paper, and so the paper here is like the beep. You're just throwing it and they see if they get it. Or sometimes you'd spell like hello, which is like 7 4, or it's like 43770 boobs 8008 5 stuff like that. You send each other stuff all like stuff like that. But it is kind of a little blast from the past. I don't even think about that. You said 19 years and I was like, damn, that is a time,
It's I mean, relatively for a normal person's lifespan. I mean, 20 years is a pretty considerable amount of time.
Yeah,
You know.
it'd be like a quarter if you could leave to 80. You
Oh
got
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and 80 is kind of like the 78 is kind of like the drop off age. So, but now that we brought up the Rotten Tomatoes, I kind of like remember I was kind of watching another movie on the side. I watched this movie and I don't know if we want to talk about it, but have you heard about Cuties?
Yes, I have.
I saw
Did you watched
I
it?
watched 30 minutes of it and I didn't have time to watch it, so I'm gonna put it on because it got a lot of controversy,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, whatever. So I watched a little bit of it. I've read what everybody's saying. I don't know the story as in like I said, it's just all the first half hour. But the one thing I brought it up was because it's a lot of people are talking about it, and on the Rotten Tomatoes, it's crazy scores. You want to know what the scores are on Rotten Tomato for Cuties?
What is it?
The critics gave it an astounding 89%. They say that it's an 89% movie to watch, while the audience gave it a 3.
Yeah, that's not surprising at
Yeah,
all.
it
And then I bet you if anybody was like, "Oh, I wonder why the critics love it so much," well, they're a bunch of pedophiles, you know. That would be my guess on
yeah,
on
yeah.
their reasoning behind it. Like if there's going to be some just like stupid reasoning. I've heard that it was like supposed to, like I said, I've just read a few things about it. It was like to expose, these girls. Pretty much what they were saying is like there are 11-year-olds going through this kind of thing,
Yeah.
and
I think
yeah.
I think the issue with the is the actual way the film was made.
Hmm.
It does. I got the scene where there's a little girl, like just being expressive in doing laundry in like a complex, like there's a shared laundry area where they, you pay to do laundry, and she was dancing, and then I'm like, okay, it's just a little girl being expressive because the other little girls that has like the conservative background is looking at her, and then you find out it's like she's 12, and you're like, okay, yeah, she shouldn't be doing some of the move or the way I've like me as a filmmaker, I wouldn't have used those angles. Like I wouldn't have.
Hmm.
You could there's another way you can tell the story, and I might go ahead and watch it, but I'm really looking at this like this score, and it's just like this is what's going on with this, man. Like that's way off. That's 37 people to 1,047. So even if you took away 1,000 people, there would still be 47 people saying no. Like it would still beat out the critics that are claiming that it's good. It really like to me, like, and I'm happy that we do this. The reason I'm bringing this up, I'm happy that we do this because I feel like if we do this long enough and we do get a following where people are like can find us as like even if they're like CJ's always giving damn movies 13, it's like oh we gotta watch all of them, CJ. Like yeah you do
Yeah.
you do okay because I gotta watch them, you gotta watch them. But no, what I'm really trying to say is that we're like a filter, and I hope that people that are hearing this would be like I wouldn't let my son watch certain things that I probably saw when I was younger. But if my son happens to stumble upon them on his own through a friend anywhere, I'll be like, all right, let's talk about this. Um, and you said something earlier that it's perfect on this conversation. You said Jurassic Park. My son loves horses. He loved horses for like a year. Nay, 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 nay. And then he got introduced to dinosaurs, and just like that, And just like that, he forgot about the nays. Now he's all about dinosaurs. He loves the animated dinosaurs. Right now, if you want to, if you, he says the names of the shows, but the one show he really likes is this one called Dino Trucks. Kind of funny, but when you ask him, "What do you want to watch?" He goes, "If you want to watch dinosaur," he'll say Dino, Dino, and you go, "If you want to watch which other one was it? Some other show," but he'll go, "Which one do you want to watch?" He'll go, like it's like a dinosaur. It's a truck kind of thing, and it grinds on the ground a lot. So he's like, it's like, okay, we'll watch that. So that being said, Jurassic Park. Would you let a 2-year-old watch Jurassic Park? A two.
Ooh, there are a lot of scary scenes in that. I remember even being like 5 or 6, and to be fair, I think I was kind of a sissy back then. Um, but uh, I feel maybe two is I would say like maybe 5 or 6. I think
Yeah,
that's an appropriate age because you see people getting like you see arms like severed
yeah.
arms and stuff like that,
People
and then you
screaming and yelling.
see people screaming and yelling, and not to say that I mean I turned out fine. I don't have too many twitches or anything like that, but like I don't know, it really I don't know.
I'll say Jurassic Park
I
to me.
would okay. Have you watched Dinosaur on Disney?
Yes.
Okay, I would
Uh,
say I would say just keep that one until like 5 or 6, and then introduce Jurassic Park
dude,
because
I've seen,
that's gonna be so cool.
yeah.
Like it's like dinosaurs are real. Like all you've seen dinosaurs is like in like animated, and then you see
Yes,
like
you're right.
it almost looks like a dress, like it's a real thing. And I think that's why I thought it was so cool was just because it was like you are introduced to dinosaurs even before like Dino Trucks, you had Barney and stuff like
Yeah, yeah.
that. And then you see that and you're like, whoa. And so I think that would be cool. I think wait a couple more years to where he can grasp it a little bit more and just be like, oh my god, is this real?
Yeah.
Almost have that reaction to it. But I don't know. Would I? Okay, I guess the real question is would I watch it and like have it in the background if he's doing something?
Yeah, there's
Is that kind of what you're getting at?
yeah, yeah. Not him sit down and watch it because I kind of want him to see the dinosaurs, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, but I think I got
Okay, yeah. If he's really into dinosaurs, then yes.
no, but I like what you said though. I think I'm gonna do what you just said. I already made my decision. You said wait, then just give him because you're right. There was a lot of fluff that I would like for him to see now, like Barney and stuff like that. I think it'd
Hmm.
be more spectacular for him to see when he's older, when he can grasp that. Oh my god, that thing looks real.
Hmm.
I would do that. Yeah, you answered it right there. I think I'll definitely. So everybody listening, he's gonna not watch it, but I think I'm gonna wait off because he points at it. I let him pick. I'm like, what do you want to watch? And he point. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to. It's a
You should
dinosaur.
watch Dinosaurs with him, man.
Oh no
Like the
no.
TV show.
Oh yes, I'm the poodle. I'm the
Yeah, dude.
Guatemala. Dude,
I don't know how that's holding up over the years, but I love that
dude,
show.
I did too. I would tune into it. But was I also gonna say you said around dinosaurs on Disney the one with Al was his name Alderon? No, what's his name
Yeah.
I say his name all the time. I always get sorry when I get stage fright, as you can tell. Um, his name is Aldelon or Alden. I'm trying to say Alderon now. It's not Alderon. Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my final hope. But no, Dinosaur. We have seen it maybe 40 times. I've seen it, and that movie to me, I was like, wow, this is kind of a Disney movie. That's cool. But I'll say that it is. It's a different Disney movie, but the I like the names of I mean Aladar. There we go, Aladar. I like the way that bat the what's his name is it Yar or Kron the brother. I like what he says, man. He's got that because this is different times. They're primitive. They don't need the there's no cars or materialistic. These are just trying to survive. And then he
Hmm.
says because Aladar is well, he's a dinosaur raised by monkeys at first, and and he's a little bit different. So his family's already primates, and then he stays with the older dinosaurs, and they even Kron tells him, what are you doing here in the back? And he goes, I'm taking care of them. He goes, yeah. And then he goes, sure. And then at one point he gives him a suggestion, and then he says, yes, follow. Let's man, that quote says, I gotta say it perfect. If I don't say it perfect, it's gonna bother me. But the quote basically saying like that, let's listen to our weak. That's a that's a suggestion. Like he says like that. Yeah, let's hear it now. I'm like, man, that's a Disney movie, and it's a strong line. Let me see if I can find it real
Hmm.
quick, man. It the for it being a Disney movie is one thing, but I mean for it being a kids movie is one thing, but for it being a Disney movie, it's a strong line. It's basically saying like we're not gonna, they can't make it, let them die, and I mean that's what kind of evolution is. That's
Yeah.
strongest of the fittest, and I really like I really believe in like something like that where you got to make yourself stronger. You can't be helped or supported all the time. You can't be codependent on people. You got to learn. And I feel like you could also bring that back to Swingers, where he kind of was codependent on that relationship, where he was still kind of like messing him up. And it's until you move on that you don't really you really grow. But man, he says that lead from the, oh yeah, take suggestions from lead from the back. Yeah, that's a wow, I gotta look for it. Sorry, but no, it is good.
Yeah.
Dinosaur we've seen a lot.
So, what about the Good Dinosaur?
Seen
That's
that one.
another.
He like okay.
Yeah.
Now that one threw me off a little bit because I hadn't seen it. So sat down because I have to watch everything he watches, and I realized I got to watch
Hmm.
it before him though. So when we were
Yeah.
watching The Good Dinosaur, which he really likes because he thinks he's Spot.
Hmm.
I've seen this movie a lot. I like the Steve Zahn character. I'm elevated, relevated. He goes, "You elevate? No, I'm relevated. I've seen the Eye of the Storm." And also there's the Triceratops, Dream Crusher. He makes me. He's there for. He makes sure I don't set unrealistic goals. And but that he's trying to say the name, and I always go to my son. I go, "Hey Maxwell, I name him, I keep him," and he just loses it because watching dinosaur, he goes, I name him, I keep him. But the scene that's a good movie, but the scene that got me was the death of the dad.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I saw Mufasa, like I saw that coming. This one I didn't see
Hmm.
coming, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he saw the dad, like we saw it. I was like, yeah, he's not in it. I think he kind of was like, what happened? So like when he loves Lion King, he loves Lion
Hmm.
King, but he doesn't know that Mufasa dies. Every time he
Yeah.
watches it, I fast forward it. So all he knows is that Simba's down at a well, and then that he's being chased by the hyenas. And I'm like, well, he's gone. He went to the clouds. Like he went to the clouds. He decided to go to the clouds. He's the king. So my son still doesn't know that he's dead. But I don't. I just
Oh
think.
man, CJ, what are you doing?
Nah,
You're messing with the chain of movies, my friend.
no.
That's like I'm gonna bring this back to How I Met Your Mother. Whenever Barney is like, "What do you mean? What happened to Old Yeller?" Or I think that was How I Met Your Mother. It might have been Friends. No, it was Friends.
Okay.
Or was it Phoebe? Phoebe like she had never seen the end of Old Yeller. Like her mom cut it off before the end.
I I've seen the episode, but I don't remember it. I know you're talking about
Yeah,
it.
but
And when
yeah,
she starts crying, doesn't she? Like
yeah. She's like, I've seen all these movies and I just don't know. Like she stops him like right before the end. I think that was Friends or yeah,
I think it was
how
Friends.
much
I
yeah,
think it was Friends. I remember seeing something like that, and then what, she died or something like that. But no,
yeah.
I'm totally doing that. So when he's because but the way I saw the way Good Dinosaur was, he was kind of like, okay, what's going on? Like he caught on to something, like he got hurt, and I can't explain
Yeah,
that doesn't really come, and the dad doesn't come out at the end. So that's what I'm kind of like, look, he's alive, and he doesn't know he's a dream. So I'm like the
yeah.
Good Dinosaur, but I think Good Dinosaur is a good little journey movie. Do you want to do any suggestions? I know it's getting kind of late. Do you want to do any suggestions for next
Yeah.
time? Do you have anything? Or the reason I was gonna bring up Robert.
Well, you mentioned Ace Ventura, and I do love that movie. Um, Golly, I honestly, man, it's funny that we normally kind of bring it up organically through our conversation, but we really kind of stayed on the two movies that we had.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's kind of was my only segue was the Ace Ventura because we kind of
Yeah,
just do it. But I think, and then I think with me taking notes and with you doing your part, we're kind of cleaning it up a little bit better. So I
yeah,
think what's happening is like we're starting to like know where we're kind of going with this. So like I said, like I brought up, I was thinking like we should do Ace Ventura 1 and 2, but only because man, like I don't know how I'm gonna react to the movie now. I think I'm gonna love it maybe even more because I'm gonna get all the references. There's a lot of references in Ace Ventura I don't really get because I was so young, but there's more. I get Ace Ventura 2 a little bit better, more of the references, but there's Ace Ventura 1. It really like there's a lot of stuff I know I'm not gonna get.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and even if we don't do Ace Ventura 2, which I think that is a good idea, we can just compare them one versus the other because honestly, right now, kind of going into it biasly, I have one that is better than the other
Oh,
already.
but you think one's better?
Out of
Ace
the
Ven-
two, I think it's just it may have just been that I have watched it more. I've had more of a connection to it
Okay.
than I did, but yeah, I think just going into now Ace Ventura 2, I do have a funny story. Back in middle school, man, me and a friend, we just thought it was the funniest damn thing to say shikaka. Like we would just, yeah, and I would do this right here, CJ. I would like squinch up my face, and we, yeah, dude, like we just thought that was the funniest damn thing. And let's do it. Let's do Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura Nature Calls,
So I'll tell you this.
or When Nature Calls.
Ace Ventura 1 is on Netflix. So let me find
Okay,
out real quick because I mean, like, so we just
I
have
think
that
it is
start.
too.
I'm sorry that I have everyone. I'm trying to say movies that we have, or at least we can have access to, not just us, you guys. Because as it right now, you'd have to rent Swingers and Made, and I just bought Swingers, and it's gonna get here for like another 2 weeks, but still like $17. I feel like it'd be better just to kind of if you already
Okay,
have the.
we could watch it this week. It's on Showtime. I have Showtime for a week.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, let's do
This
that.
all right.
Ace Ventura and then Ace Ventura
All
2.
right, we this one was a little bit more. Was a little more. It wasn't staged. It was more cleaner, but just brought them up because I was like, hey, but yeah, I mean, I'm really liking this. I'm also doing Goonies this week.
Ooh,
No,
okay.
I'm doing that with Mona.
With Alec?
No, with Mona. I have another friend. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm trying to build up the posse, trying to get the crew going.
oh, I'm
People
not seeing it as the watch option on Netflix anymore. Is it
on
still on there?
Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
I just had it on today. Yeah, no, I got it on here.
Okay, it's on Netflix. It just on
Let me.
IMDb normally it has,
Yeah. Oh
but
no.
it may.
Sometimes I found out that with Roku,
Uh-huh.
you can you go to your search there. It gives you more of a variety. But if you go through your like the Roku, I mean, if you go through
IMDb.
IMDb, it only gives you a few of them.
Okay.
But I do that
Okay.
too. I do that. I'll do a search because I also go through Prime. They have different searches, but
Oh,
Prime.
oh, if you go through Prime, then you know IMDb TV is on Prime.
I
Because
like.
I was watching Year One on my iPad. I didn't even realize that you just go to Prime and
Dude,
do that.
I like IMDb TV there, but I don't. I
And
think
Roku TV too.
it has the commercials, right? IMDb.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a whole lot.
Oh
Like I was
yeah,
watching Shrek last night. I think there was like four commercials.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that is a lot for an hour and a half, but still.
So we've got our topic for next week, and as we're fading out, I just wanted to say that I have been getting a little bit more organized about this, my time slots and like watching movies, and man, it's crazy. I kind of, if I'm not in the mood to watch a movie, which is kind of like I've always want, but like I mean, I'm like I want to make sure I'm in a good mood to watch more. I don't want to
Yeah.
be biased. I don't want to go in there like when I watch Cuties. I just finished talking to my cousin. He was like, "Dude, this is like a pedophile thing, like softcore porn." I'm like, "Let me check it out. It's not."
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to tell me something and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna give it a shot. And then I went to watch it. So, you know, it's kind of like, but I wasn't in the mood to watch it. I was in the middle of a
Yeah.
design. So I was just like, you know what? I put it in background music, but I was trying to focus. And then there's a scene where in the beginning where the mom does something I didn't get it. So I was like, you know, maybe I should be paying attention. I should at least give it
Hmm.
the 30 minutes I should give it some more so I could at least catch on to it because it's also dubbed over. So it's like because I think it's in South
Uh,
Africa or French or something like that. I don't know what the original language is, but just like watching it and not wanting to. But when I watch, oh man, when I watch Swingers, dude, I had my
you're
notepad.
like ready to go. Yeah.
I had the tears of joy coming out. I mean, I just the intro to Swingers. It's just it's different. It's beautiful. Like I can't wait to show my son that movie. And I want to see his reaction. You know, this is kind
Hmm.
of what I'm doing right now. Also, too, is I'm planting seeds. I want these seeds so when my son gets older, he can be like, dude, my dad recommended this movie. And then my son would be like, man, my dad gives all these freaking 13s. This is like a 3, bro. It's like, it's like, but my son gets it. I know it. But like, and right here for future references, I got Space Jams right in front of me. Oh, I love Space Jams. Like,
Oh yes.
it's a good one. But like, I have these movies that are just right in front of me, and I want them. I like I want to like see like oh, I'm sorry, PCU. Jon Favreau from when he's gone from gutter to where he's at now is just huge. Like that's
Yeah.
what I got introduced to him through that character, and I'm like, it's a huge difference. He's a lot. Like he's developed so much, and that builds a confidence in me, as in like, just stick with what you've been doing, and you'll
Hmm.
get there eventually. And that's what I like this. I want people to just kind of be like, hey, this guy watched this movie. That's and I want to pick stuff that's on like easy that people already have. Like you know, like Shudder. Do you have Shudder? The horror.
I don't.
See,
We had it for a minute, but we ended up we were like, I know.
so I don't have it, but I have a lot of the movies that are on that. But like
Mhm.
so like I wouldn't want you to have to either rent a movie or like if I keep like for Halloween. I mean for October, like I want to do a lot of Halloween movies.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. We can. I mean, yeah, we could do. There's actually a new Adam Sandler movie coming out. This is about Halloween.
Oh
It's
God.
called Hubie Halloween. And honestly, I think we should possibly watch that one and then give our opinions on that
And
at the very least. And maybe like that and Hocus Pocus, because I think it's going to be kind of on par.
dude,
You know, it's a PG-13 movie, but still.
I was out I think a couple years ago I was at a bar drinking. I got bored and I was just on my iPhone and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go home. And I could probably find a better reason to go home. And I don't know what I did, but I got on my phone and I found Hocus Pocus and it was like $2.99. So it was like cheap. It was like a spell, like $3.99. So I bought it and I go, oh, I'll just go home because I got Hocus Pocus. I'd rather be at home and watch Hocus Pocus than be at this dead bar or like as far as these people I don't like. And I just remember that being like, that was just one of those movies like $2.99, really. So like I enjoyed watching it, but I think we'll talk about that later. But I have we'll talk about doing the horror movies. But yeah, we're getting better at this. We're cleaning it up. It's just a movie review side by side. I guess we'll sign off. Officially, we'll start practicing this.
Yeah.
I'm CJ Robles.
And I'm Ben Garrett. And next week we'll see you with Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura Nature Calls. I put a little verses in there too. So we'll do verses.
Versus, there we okay. Versus, there we go. We got every so often we're gonna compare the same guy, same characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jim Carrey. I mean, and literally the same character. I like that. I think that I like that a lot.
Well,
It'll be fun.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next time. All right.
All right. Till next time. We already did the sign off. I'll let it go too long.
All right.
Bye.